well, 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 well,
The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
Yeah. Funny, huh? What's up, guys? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, guys. Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Hope you're all having a good afternoon. Yeah. Grace Randolph, little well montage there. Clips. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, guys. Welcome to the Dissect, presented by AWO Air and War Order. Welcome to the show. Please, if you're new here, check out my channel for the first time. Subscribe if you like what you see. Also, if you're not new here, please smash the like button down below. Also, share it on all social media platforms: X, Blue Sky, Twitter. Well, Twitter is X, Instagram, Threads if you use it. And yeah, thank you guys. I really would appreciate it. Help me get my channel to 30 subs. I'm at 21, so I'm gonna go very slow. I have a goal to get to 30 subs. My goal obviously is to get monetized, but I gotta get to 500, and I gotta get to 3,000 hours. I'm not even anywhere close to that. That's a fact. But yeah, so yeah, right, man. What's the stream about? Well, this is gonna be a stream about a Grace Randolph stream that she did about 2 days ago, talking about Steve Yeun or Steven. I think it's Steven, right? Yeah. Yeun exit from Thunderbolts. And also we're talking about David Ayers moving on from DC, where he's gonna give up on his goal on his campaign for the air cut to hopefully be released. He's moving on. Finally, he's moving on. And I gotta do something. I gotta do something. This will be I don't know how long the stream's gonna be, to let you all know. But it's gonna be a fun ass stream. So if you got an invitation to join the stream, a StreamYard link, come on in. All right. So I haven't really watched this stream that much. Honestly, I was there for bits and bits, but I haven't really watched it in detail and stuff. So we're gonna watch this together. We're gonna kind of got a fresh look at it in a way, a little bit of fresh look for me. I saw bits and bits of it, but we're gonna go and listen to what Grace has to say about these two topics, and give our thoughts and views, and pause it in between to see what she says. That gets our attention. That catches our attention. All right. So okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. So, our first topic is going to be the Thunderbolts. Okay? And the actor playing Sentry, pulling out, exiting. And then, as you see down below, here, the Suicide Squad, David Ayers. Okay. So let's get into it, guys. We're not going to talk about Barbie there. We're not going to talk about Barbie. Let you all know, we're not going to talk about Barbie as a third topic. To me, that's not important for me here. So let's just start from 141.
Wow. Thanks, Sensation. Hey, Sensation. Thanks, Not Modern Painter. Thank you all for
Obviously, you can't see
donating
the
those
chat.
memberships. It's really appreciated by me and for the people who receive them. All right, so it's 2024. It's day 4 of the year, and we're already into the drama. Oh man! In fact, that Star Wars kerfuffle the other day was so bad, I don't even want to talk about it. I was like, that's what it's. That's a trap. That's clickbait. I'm not going over there. Let's just see how it plays out. But we've got 3 really good stories to discuss for today. And so I'm quite thrilled that for the first, it's a slow week. Otherwise, there's hardly anything
Holidays.
coming out. I was looking at last year. I was like, what was last January like? And last January was incredible because there was not only The Last of Us coming out. Hey, Emilio, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. So that was a big show. And then also James Gunn had just taken over DC. So we were all like, ooh, who's still
but
in
James
the
Gunn announced
DCU and who isn't?
everybody.
That's right,
James
Megan.
Gunn announced the DC stuff at the end of January.
It was really a lot going on. And it's just, I think this is still repercussions from the 2 strikes. Hey, Optimus Prime Ribs. I love your name. Thank you for getting a membership. So there's some stuff coming up, but it's going to be pretty slow probably. We have stories to discuss. All right, so the way live streams work, just to remind you of the rules, please try to stay on topic, and I will not be really acknowledging any questions or comments until I open each section up to those at the end of each segment.
We're not going to do that.
At the end, you can ask me anything you'd like for the final 10 minutes of the stream.
We're not going to put the
so
Q&A
let's
and
get
all the end.
started.
All right, let's do this.
Story number 1. Boop. Steven Yeun. All right, let's just say bottom line, he's no longer in Thunderbolts. That's the takeaway, right? And I have to say, I mean it's a murky, crazy situation. The trade said that it was because of scheduling conflicts, and Steven Yeun confirmed that. So it was because of conflicts. And so I have to say, I think it's for the best, to be honest with you. And not because I think Thunderbolts is going to be bad. I think Thunderbolts, in fact, is going to be quite good. But because I don't think Steven Yeun is a good fit with Sentry based on what I've heard about the approach to the character, right? Now, Sentry, and by the way, Sentry and Steven Yeun were never officially confirmed for this movie. But if Sentry were in the Thunderbolts movie, the question you have to ask yourself is what defines the character? What is to the character, right? Now, Sentry, and by the way, Sentry and Steven Yeun were never officially confirmed for this movie. But
okay. Steven Yeun was never officially confirmed for the movie. Yes, he was. He wasn't confirmed for Sentry, but he was confirmed for the movie. That's factually wrong. Steven Yeun was confirmed for the movie. I remember that he was confirmed to be in Thunderbolts. That's actually wrong. He was confirmed to be in the movie. Otherwise, okay? And he pulled out, so whatever. So yeah. He was confirmed to be in the movie. So that's wrong. That's wrong from Grace. Okay. Now let's continue on. Okay. Hello, Anthony. Okay. Okay. I'm waiting for somebody. Oh, if Blind wants to come on. Yo. So, She's wrong about Steven Yeun not being confirmed for Thunderbolts. That was confirmed. That was factually confirmed. And then him pulling out automatically makes a confirmation, doesn't it? Confirmation that he was in the movie, right? So, yeah, you can't say he pulls out if he wasn't confirmed, because that means he was confirmed to be in the movie. And I remember earlier last year, not this year, he was confirmed. Now, she's right about the Sentry part. They didn't say he was confirmed from Sentry, the Wolf Sentry. That's true. That is true. That is true. Okay? Marvel sometimes likes the chicken lady. Marvel sometimes likes to wait to a certain time to announce the villain, who's going to be the villain of their movies. The heroes, they don't care, right? But for Thunderbolts, they like to wait. They like to they probably had an idea when they're going to announce who the villain of Thunderbolts is, or who one of the characters of Thunderbolts is going to be, like Sentry. But she is wrong about Steven Yeun not being officially confirmed, because he was confirmed. And if she does, and this technically means he was confirmed. Okay. But hi, chicken lady. Yeah. Okay. Let's go continue this, because I think this is actually a pretty long topic that this topic. I think it's pretty long. It's not like the last Grace Randolph stream where each topic was like 13, 14 minutes long. I think this is about a 20 minute video topic, and then she goes to the next one. And we're going to talk about the two main topics here: Thunderbolts and David Ayers. We're going to go over that. We're not going to go over the third one. I don't care about the Barbie stuff. I don't care about the Q&A, the end of the stream where she gets the fan interactive, when the fans get to interact with her. Okay, let's go.
If Sentry were in the Thunderbolts movie, the question you have to ask yourself is, what defines the character? What is primarily the biggest thing about him? Is it his look, this golden god look?
Yeah.
Or is it he has a split personality?
Can you imagine?
If you just go with the split personality, and I'm curious, like, what do you think is the most important about the character? Let's do a poll. I know you love the polls.
They are going to be a split personality. They're going to make him villain and the good guy. They're going to make them both.
That's right. They already had Adam Warlock, Nick. So this is crazy to me. So what defines Sentry to you?
Degrassi's joking.
That's right.
Anthony.
Not modern history.
Degrassi's joking.
Poll. His look.
His look and his character.
Personality. And then I guess you could say both. Both. And then the other option is, I have no idea who he is. I have no idea who he is. All right, there you go. All right, there's the poll. And anyone can vote in a poll. Only members can chat, but anyone can vote in a poll. All right? If it's just his split personality and you create a new look for the MCU that fits with Steven Yeun.
Here's the thing. As long as I want him to have a good costume, but I really want him to have the long hair too. I kind of want to have the long hair. Because Sentry has the long blonde hair. I know he's an Asian actor and not Zach. Right? I just want him to have the long look. His costume has to look good. I want him to have the long blonde hair. And I do want him to have the personality of a split personality. Of course. I want him to be, he's going to be a little different from the comics. Obviously, they do that to every Marvel character, but you have to have the split personality if he's going to be the villain and the good guy. But also, they might be a little bit whipping off the first Suicide Squad movie a little bit, where the Enchantress is the villain. It has a split personality. And if that's the case, and people are saying this is like Suicide Squad, this is the version of Suicide Squad, and their villain's going to be exactly the same in terms of personality issues, people are going to say Thunderbolts. It's basically a ripoff of Suicide Squad. And I'm not right? Basically. All right.
Then I think Steven Yeun would have been an incredible Sentry. Like a super soldier where you never know who you're talking to, the good guy or the bad guy. That's cool stuff. But if you create Sentry's look, and there he is, you can see him there. He's flying out of the frame on the over here. There he is. There's in the comics. If you're going to recreate his look to the point where you're just sticking Steven Yeun's head on his body.
Here's the thing. You know the S on a Sentry where the S where his crotch, his groin is? Don't put it in the movie costume. Do not put it in the movie costume. Okay. My advice, whatever costume they come with, do not put they probably have the costume set up, but do not put that S there, please, in the movie version of the costume. I think it actually looks really, really ridiculous. Really, really dumb. And it'll probably be mocked at. It might probably be mocked at by the viewers. The consumers, whatever you want to call them.
In a Shazam style suit that can stand on its own, I don't think that would have worked. That's right, it is very Moon Knight. I didn't think of that. But I think with Moon Knight, you're inside Moon Knight's head and you're aware of who's in charge. But I think with Sentry, the point is, here's the thing. A big point of Sentry's split personality, was that it was a surprise in the comics. Everybody was like, what? You were wondering who his villain was, and it turned out to be him. So that was the big shocker. But that's the problem when you're basing this stuff on source material. It's no longer a surprise. Everybody knows who Sentry is. And as everybody says, who's Sentry, and goes to videos like myself that fill you in on the comic book counterpart, you already know what that is. That's right. Malignant did this as well. And I loved Malignant. That was a great surprise. Loved that. So I wouldn't even describe him.
I bet you went to Wikipedia to find out about. I bet she doesn't really know the Sentry in the comics. I bet you she really went to Wikipedia to find out about Sentry, and then people come to her for information. Because I'm telling you, Grace Randolph is not the best source for comics. Okay, if you want to know comic book characters, my advice: don't go to Grace Randolph, please. Don't go to Grace. Grace is not the best source, because I bet you, even though she says she claims she read comics and stuff like that, I bet she gets a lot of stuff from the internet too. Yeah, that's the difference, right? With Moon Knight, it's trauma, right? With Moon Knight, it's trauma, right? We saw that in the show and obviously the comics. Moon Knight's split personality is based on trauma. That's the difference between Sentry. Hey, Blinded, what's up? How you doing? So yeah, it's different. It's different personalities between Sentry and Moon Knight. What's up? How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
That's good. That's good. Finbar, you want to come on? Oh yeah, so like she says like Steve, yeah, what's part of it for the best? He wasn't a good fit. I'm like, he's a good actor, but I'm just saying. Well, and she asked a question on the stream, like, what do you think was a fine Sentry? The costume or the personality? And I'm like, as long as the costume doesn't look like a joke, I personally think, the S on Sentry's costume, the S, you see it, right?
Yeah.
Don't put that in the movie.
Well, the way she described it, she said it was like a Shazam-like suit. So that was comic accurate.
But just don't put that S. Don't put that S. Don't put that S where the crush is in the costume.
I mean, I assume that's what they meant. Like the S is going to be there.
Don't. Oh, that's a bad. Because that's gonna be mocked at. People mock.
I don't really think so. I mean, that's kind of part of his costume, though. Like,
I know, but
his costume is really generic without it.
I think in comic books you could get away with it, but on screen you may not be able to as much.
I don't know. I'm disappointed that he left. He was like the only redeeming. I mean, well, the writers. Here's the thing. I like Beef. Beef is a really good show. Everybody should go watch that show. It's hilarious.
It's gonna get us some awards at the Golden Globes.
Yeah. But like, I'm just like, I just don't care about this movie. Like they have the most blandest team. It's not the Thunderbolts. It's this stupid Suicide Squad ripoff.
It is because of the infamous Sentry. It's basically a Temptress.
Yeah, and this movie it's just bland MCU crap. Like, that's the one thing that we don't need is bland MCU crap. So, yeah, I'm disappointed that he left.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see who they replace him with, but it's not going to be as interesting in my opinion.
Give him the blonde hair, the long blonde hair. That's what we
Nah,
need.
you didn't even need to give him the long blonde hair. I mean,
Do it. Make him cool. Make him stand out.
I
Like
just wanted to see what his take would have been on the
she's
character.
I think she missed it. Like she missed. I don't know. She said Stephen Yeun was not officially in the movie. Yes, I remember last year he was
No,
confirmed to
he
be in
was
the movie.
confirmed. It wasn't. I think she meant they never
Sentry.
confirmed he was Sentry.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what she meant. She meant Sentry, but she did kind of misspeak that. Oh yeah, Stephen Yeun wasn't officially confirmed as and Sentry wasn't officially confirmed. But yeah,
Right.
but Stephen Yeun was officially confirmed. Not the but yeah, the Sentry part is. But I pretty much think that since she pulled out, that's an official confirmation that he was in the movie. He was supposed to be in the movie.
Right.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I'll see what she says. She compared like the split personality to Moon Knight, right? I'm sorry,
Well, it's
Finbar.
kind of like Moon Knight. It's kind of like Adam Warlock. I mean, I'm not a like the biggest fan of
Sure.
Sentry. Like, I don't really care for the character, but yeah, he's always kind of just generic to me.
Yeah, they try to make him the Superman, right? Or Hyperion. Like, there's so many characters
Yeah.
in Marvel. They try to make the Superman. Some people say Sentry, Hyperion. I'm like,
Well, yeah, Hyperion is definitely. I mean, Hyperion would be interesting, but
yeah.
and that's another thing too. Like, why didn't they do the Supreme Squadron? Like, you
Remember
would
the
think with
rumors
this
about that?
multiverse stuff.
Remember the
Yeah, you
scoopers are bullshitting about the Supreme Squadron?
yeah,
It's
you would
what
think with
if?
the multiverse
What
they
if?
would do something like that, but nope.
Wasn't that what if? There were rumors that they were bullshitting about that, or was it
No,
something
it
else?
was a rumor that Hyperion was going to be in Loki. Remember?
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Loki. Yeah. Yeah. And obviously that never
Obviously,
happened.
that never happened. Yeah.
And now they're going to rumor that Iron Fist is going to be Black Panther. Well, no, the Wakanda anime series.
Yes. Now they're saying Iron Fist is going to be in
Yeah.
this animated series. Like,
Cinematose. No, not
and
Cinematose.
and My Time to Shine is saying, "Oh, Magneto's not in the movie," even though she was the only one saying that he was in the movie. Like,
Then she said her excuse is things change.
yeah, things change. That's their cop out
That's
excuse.
cop out. Yeah. Yeah. Um. Let's see. Continue.
Is evil Superman because he goes back and forth between the two.
Evil
Sometimes
Superman. Oh my God! Stop with that. Stop with that. Superman doesn't have a split personality. Okay. First of all, that's just it. Sorry. Stop with the evil Superman.
Evil
You know what?
Superman is a played out trope. I will admit.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how many characters in comics have the same kind of powers as each other? It's like I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but the
Yeah.
trope. She's talking about the
Yeah.
trope, right? Not so much the powers.
You know what? If you're a magical character could have the same powers as Superman if they wanted to. They use a spell.
Mm.
Use spell. Like it's. I love Tony's discussion on wasn't Gabbing for Geeks, but like he was talking to his comic book friends and Finbar might have been there. It's like how come the heroes don't use their powers, like don't use their powers or like their minds to like cure diseases and stuff like that. Like Weed Rangers could cure cancer, and like and
Mm.
I'm like he technically kind of has a point, but I'm like because people have to overcome stuff. There has to be obstacles in the way. And I'm like, I just put in the chat like, yeah, Spawn in the Spawn comic, yeah, he just used magic to cure cancer. That's it. He just used magic. He didn't even have to do a spell. He just used magic to cure cancer. And I'm like, Doctor Strange was a surgeon. Why can he use his magic to cure people? He's a doctor. And people were like, and I said, and also in the same chat, yeah, Professor X is basically a psychiatrist. Right? He's basically a
Well,
psychiatrist.
yeah, he can go in people's thoughts and
help him, right? That's what he
see them.
does, right?
Yeah.
He technically doesn't have a PhD, but he could help. He does help him, right? So
Mm.
but like I don't remember where this is from, but I do think Superman said he said to Lex Luthor, you could do so much good. He believed that Lex Luthor has the kind of mind that could cure cancer and stuff. But obviously Luthor uses
Right.
for other stuff, right? His means for other things. Because Superman cannot cure cancer with his powers. He may be able to cure some stuff with his heat vision, but he cannot cure cancer, obviously. All right, where were we?
He's very much a split personality. On the one, it's like if Batman and Joker were in the same body,
I haven't heard
and
that.
had the same power set. And if you're looking at it from the outside
Did she play Arkham Knight? Kind of Joker.
Yeah, I mean that is like Arkham Knight, but I mean it's a little different, right? Because it's more of a. I mean, it's not really the Joker. It's more of like the virus taking over and Batman seeing the Joker and
I think
he's acting like him. But
I think a better example would be Two-Face. If you want to go DC, go Two-Face. I don't know, like, or
I don't know. The Batman and the Joker comparison sounds interesting, but
there's another Marvel character that might be canon or not now because there's a Netflix here. Typhoid Mary. Doesn't she have like 3 personalities? Typhoid Mary.
Typhoid Mary? Who?
Is that her name? From the Netflix.
Are you talking about the Daredevil villain?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Maybe Degrassi might know.
Well, then that's really cool because if the character, if the actor,
you mean Mary Typhoon? Is it Typhoon?
If they,
yeah, there we go. I don't know what it says. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah. Didn't she have like 3 personalities or something like that?
Yeah, I still don't remember, but yeah.
I remember the animated series, like Two-Face. In the series finale, it developed like a 3rd personality. It was called the Judge. I remember that.
Right.
You don't know who you're talking to. What would be the tell? What would give away if you were talking to the good or the bad century? And that's where it becomes really interesting.
It'd be like this.
But again,
I mean, well, the thing is,
no friend, but he is my friend.
I mean, the concept sounds interesting, but the thing is, like, I mean, I don't think the MCU is going to do anything with Adam Warlock now. So,
no.
I mean, I guess that's not that big of a deal.
They didn't explain. Yeah, she was an Iron Fist. They didn't explain it because Adam Warlock is Magnus, right? Like the same character, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's kind of similar, but
they don't have the Soul Stone for Adam Warlock anymore, like because that's in the comics. Soul Stones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious to see how he's gonna fit in the movie and like how exactly are this team, like how are they gonna take him down?
Yeah, like, if he's like Superman, because most of his team don't have powers. I mean,
no, this is why I feel like it should have been the Dark Avengers. Like that would have made sense.
The difference between the Suicide Squad,
we can't get that.
I mean, some Suicide members did not have powers. Like Hardy, Deadshot don't have powers, but Captain Boomerang doesn't have powers. But I believe Diablo did.
Right, but that doesn't even really matter anyway.
Yeah,
the point of the Suicide Squad is that they have really no choice, and they're just being used as warm bodies anyway, right? So who really cares if some of them don't have powers?
They were criminals, and they were doing this, and if they succeed, obviously they won't die, but they get their sentence reduced.
Right.
These are not suicide people. These are not criminals anymore. Yeah. Some of them do bad things.
Well, they're a black. That's what I'm saying. That this just becomes Suicide Squad because they just get a bunch of villains. The government gets a bunch of villains.
They're not even villains.
Well, some of these characters are villains. Yeah, I mean,
but not of their free will though, because Bucky and Taskmaster were not villains of their free will. They were against their free will, right? So technically,
why is Taskmaster on this team? Like, this makes no sense. Like,
they could have done so much better with Black Widow. They could have used Taskmaster. They could have used something with what's this Taskmaster?
And get rid of
Tony
like
Masters.
Bucky. To me, just it just like that just looks like Rick Flag. It just feels like Rick Flag. It doesn't even feel like what they're gonna like his role in the comic. And even when he was on the Thunderbolts, like that was lame. Like the new Thunderbolts, like from I want to say 2013 to onward, that was crap.
Yes,
that was crap. That was not freaking the Thunderbolts at all. They just put a bunch of characters that people liked on the team, and then they're like, "Look, this is the Thunderbolts," and it wasn't interesting. I'm sorry. Like,
you know what they could have done? You know what they could have done with Black Widow? Taskmaster could have been Tony Masters. They could have something where Tony Masters used to work for S.H.I.E.L.D., like in the comics, because he used to be kind of an agent for S.H.I.E.L.D. He kind of trained a lot of people. And then, they decided to go for his own business, become a merc for hire and stuff. He could have worked for the Red Room people because of money and stuff like that.
Do we know that this is the female Taskmaster anyway?
It is. It is.
Okay. Because wasn't that guy in Black Widow, like, people were saying that he was going to
Mhm.
be Taskmaster? And didn't he reappear again? Was he in Secret Invasion, or am I like, I
I
didn't
don't
watch
know.
Secret Invasion, but
I don't know. But they could have used Tony
Okay.
Masters, right? Tony Masters could have used Black Widow. Tony Masters could have survived. And you know what? Despite having differences with Red Guardian and Elena, um, uh, what's her name? Who recruits the Thunderbolts? I forget her name again.
oh, isn't it Vanessa? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Vanessa? Is it Vanessa? I don't remember.
yeah, Julia DeFres's character from Seinfeld. Yeah, she recruits Taskmaster, the Tony Masters into the group. And yeah,
Right.
he'll obviously be at odds with Red Guardian Elena, right? But
I just don't understand how anyone can look at this and not say this is the Suicide Squad. Like, this literally has the freaking tropes of the Suicide Squad. It's like, come on. Like,
it's not going to be as good as the James Gunn Suicide Squad. Maybe
no.
it could be. It might be better than the David Ayers Suicide Squad. I'll give it that because that was not really that good. So the only thing was good about that movie was really the soundtrack, but everything else was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's not a high bar, but
No,
like, this is
no.
just such an unwanted movie. Also, like, how is this gonna play into Secret Wars and all that?
I don't know.
If they're just going to stick Stephen Yeun in that suit, or if we're going to stick him in that suit.
Well, remember,
I don't I agree with you, George. This seems very dark for me.
Remember Degrassi? Not Degrassi. Remembers this. Remember this blinded. Remember like a week ago. Oh, Stephen Yeun's gonna look good in the suit, and then like a couple days
Yeah,
later,
that
he
was
drops
Daniel
out with that.
RPK.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what was that about? Like, that to me still makes no sense. Like, they're hyping up, oh, he looks amazing in the suit, and this is the best MCU suit. Then, like, the next day he
never
drops
had a
out.
fitting. I'm telling you, he never had a fitting.
Like, what the, like, that makes no freaking sense.
If he was in the suit and having a fitting, he would not dropped out. Something really bad, man. It's something really bad, because him having schedule conflicts, that's not the reason he would have a fitting for this movie, because he would be doing this movie if he had a fitting, right? Yeah, he saw the suit and walked. He's like,
he saw the suit and walked. Yeah, that's the part.
Yeah.
Like that, like, it makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
I really don't buy this whole the scheduling thing. Like, the movie was delayed twice. The strikes finished. He was still attached to the movie. You had what's his name? That I'm blanking on his name. The guy who wrote Invincible and The Walking Dead. You had him saying, oh yeah, he looks good in the suit, or not good in the suit, but he was joking. Oh, I'm playing another character that's like yellow and blue, right? And so it's like, okay, so they're hyping this up, right? Oh my God, he's gonna be Sentry. He's gonna be amazing, right? Then all of a sudden, he drops out, and the reason is scheduling.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, I don't understand.
This is planned. He was planning to drop out way before the supposed fitting for the suit. I'm sorry.
Like, makes no sense.
Yeah.
Marvel. This whole movie seems too dark for Marvel. I'm like, are you going to kill somebody? I had this.
They're not going to kill
later
anyone.
on, but I was like,
what the fuck is too
if
dark
they do kill someone?
You know what's coming up?
If they do kill someone, it's going to be Red Guardian. That's who they're going to kill.
Somebody's going to die.
And it's going to be like an emotional moment or some shit like that.
Hey, Grace, there has been dark deaths in Marvel before. Do you remember Thanos?
Yeah, but Marvel really doesn't want to kill anybody, though.
I know, but some of the deaths in Marvel is really, really, really dark, though.
Like who?
Oh, when you saw Loki.
I mean, Yondu is probably the
that wasn't
most
that
emotional
dark.
one.
I mean, yeah, most emotional.
Like
Loki,
dark.
Loki's death was dark. Loki's death was dark because when he was getting choked, all that.
Like something that was actually disturbing. I couldn't think of someone who was like that disturbing, to be honest.
Maybe since Vision. I say Vision's death could have been disturbing, but since he was a robot and no
pilot, not really.
Yeah, because you know, since he's a robot, an android, obviously you see his head explode would be allowed. But if it was a human, they would not do that. that scene.
The MCU really doesn't have dark deaths. I have to be honest.
No.
Like, there's nothing that I was like, oh my god, that's like, I can't
But
believe they.
because you know, yeah, that's true.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy is probably the only series where they kind of do something really edgy or dark.
Falling off
Like you
jumping
know
off a
when
cliff, those
like
I
you
don't call
know
them dark.
I don't know if I would call those dark. They were, I mean, like they were shocking, but they weren't like disturbing to me. Because they're supposed to be like emotional sacrifices, right?
Hmm.
Um,
But Echo,
a-
maybe Echo will have some disturbing deaths because it's supposed to be mature.
uh,
Maybe they can.
the MCU will never do something really dark and disturbing.
What?
I'll
What?
say that.
Yeah. Well, Deadpool probably have like disturbing deaths because this is rated R. Deadpool probably be like different in that circumstances.
I really don't think so. Dark and disturbing to me says something that is like you would not typically see, and it's like the stuff that was in the Suicide Squad, that was dark and disturbing.
Oh,
Like
the James
having
Gunn one.
people, yes,
Oh,
yeah, having like people's face blown off,
oh my God, yeah.
like it has to
Oh,
be
the
like,
beginning, especially.
yeah,
Yeah.
just like out of nowhere and like gruesome. And the MCU will never do anything gruesome, even in a Deadpool movie. Like
You, s-
Deadpool is not gruesome. It's just it has blood and gore,
mhm.
but gruesome is like when it's almost realistic and like, yeah, like there's mutilation or there's stuff where you're like, ooh, it makes you like flinch, right? Like that's disturbing to me, right? So far, there's really nothing that level. Like the MCU will never do that because this is for general audiences. To me, Dark does something disturbing. That's how I feel personally. Like an emotional
Okay.
sacrifice can be pretty dark, but I don't know. It's supposed to make you. It's supposed to more make you cry. And something that's dark doesn't make me cry. It just sort of like,
It just makes you go like, whoa.
yeah, it makes you just go like,
Yeah.
wow, like shit's really fucked
Shit.
up. Like,
Like Game of Thrones kind of deaths, man. They're like, or
yeah,
like,
I think the Suicide Squad, I would say, was dark and disturbing.
oh, those like yeah, those yeah, dark is good depending on the project. Oh, let's
Well,
see.
MCU doesn't
Those
really want
super
to do
soldiers
dark.
better
Yeah, because they're the kid audience.
Yeah.
be red shirts because that's the whole reason to only have so many, super soldiers. You're going to take some of them out. I'm like, we could lose a few of those.
They're
They
expendable.
ain't gonna kill
It's okay.
anybody on that team.
I mean, I want to see
Like it's
Sentry
gonna
mean
be a
business.
sacrifice, and that's it. Like
Okay.
you're not
Well,
gonna. It's not gonna
I'm
be
not
like
sure
the
what the
Suicide
rating is,
Squad
but
where
if
the
you've
first
seen Beef and you
character
see
gets
how
their
that
head
season
blown off. It's
ends,
not gonna be like that. Even
oh,
though
it
they're
could
trying
be
to rip
rated
off
R.
Suicide Squad.
It could be. Oh, that would be amazing.
No, they're not gonna have.
All
They're
right,
not
so let
gonna
me
have a
just see what the
device in their
poll
head.
says.
They're not gonna
No
be
way,
like
it's
that.
gonna
This
be
is very
rated R.
encouraging.
It's because, to be honest with you, some of these characters don't even need to have like a device in their head from the government to be doing this. Like Bucky Barnes has helped save the world. Why would they do that to him? Like, right? Right?
Well,
Like,
why is Bucky Barnes on the same team as U.S.
so
Agent?
yeah.
All right.
Well, why did Bucky? What? Like, I'm curious. Like, why did
I
Bucky
think
sign
if
up
I
to do
remember, if
this?
I think it's because U.S. agent, because Falcon Winter Soldier, U.S. agent kind of redeemed himself a bit
Not to them.
when he
He
saved
was working.
the
He's
people.
working undercover.
I think
Like, why is
he
Bucky
did.
even
He
like?
did.
They're
I
gonna have
think
to. I mean, that's gonna be in the movie, obviously, but like, it's just kind of like weird. Like, you would think
if you
like
remember
Bucky
correctly,
wouldn't want to be on this team.
when U.S. agent saved the van from falling off the bridge, Sam Wilson as Captain America was there, and like he gave him like he kind of forgave him the not approval. I think, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly,
but like, are you still gonna work with the? I don't know, man. The MCU's just
they'll
so
still work
freaking weird.
together. I mean, like they'll work together if they ever end up with the other heroes, meet the other heroes, other future films or TV shows. They'll end up working together because if it's for the
So
greater good,
lame.
if it's for the
So
greater good,
freaking lame. I'm sorry, that's lame as hell. These MCU characters,
So,
there's never villains and heroes. Like it's always just Oh yeah, we'll turn
Yeah,
the
they're
villain into anti-heroes. Like,
Marvel
come
does that,
on.
right? They try to make Marvel has a tendency to try to make their villains, not all of them, like sometimes like
No,
heroes.
all the character, any villain who stays around is definitely going to be an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Loki, all the characters on all this team are anti-heroes now because they stuck around. Any
I
villain
don't
who
even
stays around that is not like obviously a Thanos,
yeah.
or a character that they could is this giant threat, they end up just becoming an anti-hero.
It won't be
Like,
Kingpin though. I think Kingpin is gonna not be one of those characters. I think Kingpin will stay a villain.
well, yeah, well, because he's a Thanos type.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um but see to me, that works with Doctor Doom. That works with Doctor Doom. A
Well,
character like
Doctor
Doctor
Doom,
it's
Doctor
both, right?
Doom could also they could end up turning Doctor Doom into an anti-hero.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they really shouldn't,
Because in
but
the comics, Doctor Doom is not purely evil. He has done good stuff. He's done good stuff in the comics.
I just like why can't there be a villain that we follow that is just a villain? Like why is that just hard to write? Like I don't understand. Like couldn't you make a character who's a villain and is sympathetic, or you know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like that's why I'm not that interested in the MCU, because the MCU is just doing the exact same thing like dozens and dozens of times. Like this team is not anything new.
Villains are people too. It's
Yeah,
like,
I want villains, man. I want villains to be villains. Like, what's the problem with that? I don't. Suicide Squad was
Let's
pretty disturbing to me.
see here.
I was not
59%
expecting
of you
that.
who have absolutely no idea who Sentry is, which just goes to show how bad the comic book marketplace is. Because,
Not really. Sentry's
if
a
you're
Sentry's
an
a
all
character
even a
who
casual
barely
Marvel
shows up,
fan, you
and
know
it's
who
not that
Sentry is.
interesting.
17% of you
So
feel that he's got to have both. He's got to have that
yeah.
look. Well, then you would not have been happy with Steven Yeun in the role. 14% agree with me that feel it's the split personality, although that's a low number. And then 9% feel just his look is the most important. But when you combine that with both, you've got like in the mid 20s, mid to high 20s as to who, that the look is important. So, and also we'll see. I think that, I'm very curious to see who they decide to cast instead. Who will take this role over?
Degrassi. No,
I mean, at the one hand, they might decide not to bend, to race bend the role at all. But then that's going to maybe, I don't, I think that it just opens up a really big can of worms for them. Like if, some of you were saying Alan Richson, some of you were saying Ryan Gosling.
No,
But then
not
you're
Alan
like,
Rickman. No.
Alec Rimmon would be
Look,
boring as
Alan
hell.
Richardson's done a
Ryan
great job,
Gosling would
but
be
he's not
interesting.
exactly a great actor. Yeah.
Ryan Gosling would be interesting,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of, I don't know. Eh,
He would.
I don't know. I would have to see.
Like, I'm amazed how good of an actor Ryan Gosling got, because like I remember him from like when he was a kid actor.
Yeah,
He
he's
was
a
in
good
Goosebumps.
actor. That's the only reason why I would say like I'm interested. But I think his look is kind of generic. It's just like, eh.
I don't think he fits this character at all. I think Ryan Gosling, yeah.
I mean, if he's like the silent, crazy type, that's kind of what Ryan Gosling does a lot. So it kind of makes sense.
Mhm.
But
No,
yeah, I
it's
don't
gonna be
know.
like a Ken type. I'm kidding.
Oh boy.
like,
Can you imagine?
whoa, what happened, man? Why wasn't it Steven Yeun? So
I still wish it was him.
I think it's going to be really tough. I just hope this movie's good, and I
Yeah.
think it will be. Although now Yeun is on the
Cold.
beef bench with Ali Wong. Remember, I've been saying they have the director directing Thunderbolts, Jake Schreier from Beef. They have Lee Sung Jin, who wrote Beef and created it, coming on board. I like Jonathan Groff, Poke 1855. Jonathan Groff, I would solve all problems. I love him so much. I'd be so supportive of him in any role. Jonathan Groff would be great. He was pretty good with some of the visual effects action sequences in Matrix. Charles Melton's an interesting idea, Mika. That's a very interesting idea. You guys are good. You have your producer hats on today. But I don't know. I think Charles Melton is in a very precarious spot right now with his career. Can he be taken seriously? Because, of course, he jumped from Riverdale to Oscar contender. That's an incredible jump. Nobody has ever jumped like that before in the history of jumping. And so I feel like he needs another serious movie kind of keep going. Yeah, anyone in the cast of the Iron Claw could do it. Did you see Jeremy Allen White? You know, he's like, what do I do with all these new muscles? I know, be the body of Calvin Klein. And it was hilarious. It was like West Side Story.
I'll say it was Iron Claw.
It was a very.
I did not see it, but Iron Claw, even though Zac Efron has done some roles where he's had to be not his typical self, I think Iron Claw is the one that made Zac Efron a real serious actor. That defined him as somebody that you could trust to could do a bunch of roles. That's not his typical stuff. I know he did. Didn't he do Ted Bundy or something like that? Netflix or something like that? Didn't he play Ted Bundy?
Zac Efron, yeah, that was terrible. That was so bad.
Yeah. That's one. That's one of his first roles. He's trying to be serious, right? It didn't do well. I think this is the. I know also he did Firestarter, right? Where he's the father of that flaming, the remake, right, of his child.
Oh, that was another terrible movie.
Yeah. This is. I think this is the movie that makes Zac Efron like, yeah, this guy could act. Because you know, some people have it in them, but you have to find the right movie, right, to bring it out, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I still haven't seen that movie. I haven't seen any movie like in the last 2 months. Like the last movie I saw, I think was The Killer.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was Rebel Moon. Sorry, fuck.
Oh, any movie is better than Rebel Moon in the last 2 months. I bet.
I just haven't been in the mood to watch movies. I got to be honest.
It was impressive,
Okay.
but I don't know if he'd be a good Sentry. Everyone's like, yes, we saw the Jeremy Allen White campaign.
How do you know if it's going to be a good or not bad Sentry if he would have been the first Sentry on screen? How do you know? How would you know?
If he would have, I think they're just saying in the look, right?
He was doing the pull down his underwear move.
But yeah,
right?
I don't really like.
Very,
there's
very
no
funny.
who is attached to Sentry. Like Sentry rarely appears. Like I don't understand. Like he's not like a super beloved character. Like he is known to most people, but I don't think like I don't feel like people are gonna be like, oh my god, like this is not comic accurate. Like nobody really cares all that much. I know, like before I've talked about comic book accuracy, but I don't really care. I don't really care.
See, Degrassi brings up a great point here because you're going to see people from both sides, right? You're going to say if they cast a non-Asian actor to replace Sentry, people say, yeah, it's a great choice. You know what people are talking about. It's a great choice. You're going to cast this character, right? And that's just, if it's a white character specifically. If it's a white character, yeah. If it's a white character, it'd be like, yeah, it's a great choice. But it didn't be on the other side if they cast like another Asian actor or a color character or another colored person.
I mean,
you're gonna say woke again. You're gonna use the woke thing again.
Well, they cast him because he is a good actor.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, he's an actor who I feel like he has a lot of range. So I don't know what he would have done exactly with this character. That's what made it interesting, is because he's a really good actor and he could do a lot of different things.
I know.
And Beef, he's very comedic and he's very sarcastic.
I
but
see
then
serious stuff in Walking Dead.
Yeah, but then when you see him in The Walking Dead, it's a completely different.
Yeah,
like, he's not playing the same character, right? And he's been in other stuff too, right? So
yes, he has Twilight Zone remake, if I remember.
Yeah, he's in a Korean movie too. I forget the name of it, but yeah, he has a lot of range. He's definitely better than I'm trying to think who was remembering. Yeah, I would say he's a better actor than most of the people that were in this cast. Mm-hmm. Like he's the one that is the most interesting, right? Like I don't really like. No offense to David Harbour and what's her name, who's Yelena. Like they're good actors too, but like Stephen Yeun is on a different level. Like he could do a lot of different things. So I don't know. It's still a shame, man. I really don't care for this movie. Like it's just until I actually see a trailer, I don't really care for this movie.
Good for
unless it's rated R.
Good for David Harbour to get some notice because like he's been around, but he wasn't a major like.
No, yeah, he wasn't
until Stranger
Well,
Things,
he should hop off of this Marvel train though. That's why I think they
Stranger,
should just kill him off.
Stranger Things revealed how good of an actor he is.
Yeah.
Because he was in the Suicide Squad movie, remember, for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, see, Degrassi, there's a no-win situation on both sides here. It's a lose-lose
Yeah.
situation if you really think about it. I don't want to get political here, but it's if whoever gets cast as Sentry.
Well, I think if you're going to be like, well, we're going to stay with an Asian actor, it should be an actor who's on his level. If not, it has to be someone who's, like Alan Rickman. Like that's a boring choice. He's not even a good actor.
Alan Rickman
Ryan Gosling is a good actor.
He fits fine for action stuff. Alan Rickman.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling is an actor who is similar to Stephen Yeun, where it's like he has range, he could do a lot of different things, and he would obviously bring something interesting, right, to this character.
But now in this landscape, they would. Right?
And Billy D. Williams would have been more interesting as Harvey Dent, but that should have been Tim Burton, obviously, doing that.
That Two-Face was like the Joker. Like that Two-Face had the personality of Joker. Tommy Lee Jones had the personality of Joker.
Yeah, I hate Batman Forever, man. That movie sucks.
Oh.
So anyway, back to Thunderbolts. So it's the Beef team, and that was a very dark adult show. So I think that would be great.
Was it dark?
I mean, I think it's going to be very strong. I hope it's R-rated, and I hope that some of these super soldiers bite it.
Beef does get dark toward the ending, yeah.
Although some of you already say this. Okay. Zemo better be in
especially
the movie.
what they do to that lady in her house. That was fucked up.
He better be in the movie. It's not too late. They delayed the shooting of the film. Oh. By the way, yeah, Beef is awesome. 80s model. If you haven't watched Beef, go watch Beef. It's an incredible show. You should watch it just because it's good. But yeah, Zemo has got to be in this movie because he's already
like the tone of Beef doesn't fit with the Marvel movie though. That's why I'm like,
it's an amazing dance movie.
And the fact, like, it's a comedy, but like it's very satirical and it gets like really dark in parts, right? Like the characters do a lot of like they're not good characters. That's the thing, right? Like, yeah, it's a dark comedy. The characters are in a position where like they're very well written characters. Like you understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, like you understand that they're not good people, right? Like there's people like this in real life, right? Where it's like they want to just like someone did something to them and now they feel like, oh, I need to like get back at them, right? Revenge, and so they're just very petty individuals. And so that's what the premise of the show is that these two people got into like a
I thought Beef was just limited. I thought Beef was only doing one season.
It might get a second season, but to be honest, does it need a second season? I don't think so. It ends pretty well, like
because at the Golden Globes, it's under the category of limited series, a limited series.
Yeah, I don't think it needs a second season because it doesn't like I think there's maybe one thread that wasn't built on, but the thing is they end up like realizing that they were stupid and that they were like very similar people. Like they were actually the same person, like personality wise. So I don't see why you would need a second season. Like maybe if it's like an anthology series, maybe.
And yeah,
but
and Zemo's in the movie. I think they said Zemo's in the movie.
Well, I don't think they said Zemo's in the movie. I think that's just a rumor. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not.
So if he's not in the movie, even a little bit, we're all going to be like, that was a great movie, but where's Zemo? So it's a little bit like
doesn't even make sense for Zemo to be in the movie. That's just fan service at that point.
I don't think people are climbing for where's Zemo. I'm sorry.
No, I think people are climbing because he's literally the original member of the Thunderbolts.
That's true. And they want him to dance. They want him to dance too.
But it makes no sense for Zemo to be on this incarnation. He doesn't want to be associated with super soldiers, so why would he be on the team?
Yes. Maybe
it makes no sense. Like this Zemo is not. You can't.
This Zemo is This Zemo is a total opposite from the comics. Like,
yeah, well, like what can you really do with this one? Like he's a cool character, but he's not the character from the comic. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Zemo's one of the few villains in the MCU that's like really far away from his comic counterpart.
I don't know. This seems like some people either don't know Zemo all that well or don't know his role in the Thunderbolts. And they
Mhm.
think that this version of the that's what
You
I'm
see,
saying. Like you have all these people on Twitter
see,
who are defending this movie and they don't even know what the Thunderbolts are. Like it's
Th-
so freaking
Zemo
annoying.
would make sense as a Thunderbolt villain because he is a villain in the comics, right? He is a villain. He's
Yes,
not a
he
good.
would.
He's not a
Well,
good guy.
yeah. If they were doing, I keep saying, if they just did the premise of what the Thunderbolts
Yeah,
is, whether it's comic accurate or not, that is a much more interesting idea because it's the villains pretending to be superheroes.
yes,
The public does not know that they're supervillains. That is the point of the Thunderbolts, and it's an
and
interesting dynamic. You could do a lot of interesting stuff with it.
look at
Then
this.
you can have Zemo on the team. You could have Zemo on the team. Obviously, you would have to work out the super soldier bias that he has, but he could play another character, right? I forget what I'm forgetting the name of the his hero name. Is it oh my god, hold on.
Who?
I'm blanking on the name. Give me a second. Uh because I'm like, oh my god, what's the freaking name?
Well, Bullseye might be canon though, so he could use Bullseye.
Yeah, Bullseye could be on the team. That would have been interesting, but
Hmm.
um
But Venom, you're right, and Osborn, you're right. Well, Osborn was in that universe for like a minute, but yeah, technically you're right. And Venom, actually, Venom and Osborn were both in that universe for a minute. But then, yeah, if you remember Spider-Man: No Way Home, they were both in that universe for like a minute. So in a way,
damn, why
yeah.
can't
All right, Citizen V.
Citizen V, there we go.
It's like
Yeah,
you
sorry.
got to do
Jesus
it.
Christ.
I mean, like you just
Thank
have
you.
to because it's just too bizarre to not have that
By the
person
way, I
on the
hate that
team.
name. That's why
I
I
mean,
forgot
again,
that
some
shit.
of you might be
Citizen V
like,
sounds
I don't know
bad.
anything about Thunderbolts, right? Like you don't care if Zemo's there, but
I
you
know,
already
yeah,
know
they
he's
were.
supposed to be there. But the point is, the core fandom that pushes this thing, and we're you need us to geek out over it.
Who's a core
You
fan?
need us to geek out about it on the social media. So that's how you do it, by having Zemo dance his way through Thunderbolts. You kill a bunch of the red shirts, and we all go, "That's amazing! It's just like the comics." And then
Yeah,
everybody else goes,
they
"Oh,
were the
maybe I should
master
check
of
it out."
evil pretending
So let's
to
see.
be
Yeah,
they were
Let me
like
ask if you think
replacing
if
the
Zemo
Avengers,
needs
right?
to. We'll do
At the
another
time,
poll.
because Avengers weren't there.
yeah.
Does Zemo need to be in Thunderbolts?
And by the way, the
Yes.
MCU never did the Master of Evil, by the way.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
There's just two options on that.
No. Because they don't do a very good job with most of their villains in general.
That's right.
Like
That's why we
I'm
were saying that
sure
the
when James Gunn
MCU.
does DC,
Yeah, go. Sorry.
what are you saying? I was
No,
saying
you
James
could
Gunn.
go. You can go.
James Gunn is probably doing a Legion of Doom, like kind of thing. They're gonna have a bunch of villains from different heroes as in one team, potentially like
Yeah,
a
probably at
Legion
some
of
point they'll do that.
yeah.
But yeah, I was
I'm
saying that the MCU never did the Master of Evil, right? So I
no.
feel like what would have made more sense is that they were various opposing villains to the Avengers, and they were the Dark Avengers, right? They were like the Thunderbolts, right? And then you could swap in characters who are on different versions of the Thunderbolts to match to basically be the dark version of the original six, right? So like you could either have Red Hulk be the Dark Hulk, or you can have Abomination be the Dark Hulk. You can have Yelena be Black Widow, right? You can have US Agent be Captain America. If they got Norman Osborn, he could be Iron Man or Iron Patriot, right? Whatever it
Yeah.
works. And then because like there's not a version of like Thor that you could use, then you could have Sentry, right? Be on the team, right? Or yeah, right, as a sort of like, okay, we need a version that mirrors Thor, right? But we don't really have that, so we'll just use this character.
Hmm.
That's what they should have done, right? That would have been a lot more interesting. You could do different things. You also have the Avengers name. People would be interested. People would be excited because, oh, these are villains pretending to be the Avengers. Because in universe, there's no Avengers, right? We
Yeah.
don't know who's the team, right? So if the government, because we saw in Captain America, they were trying to have their own Captain America, right? So it
Yes.
would kind of make sense that the US government would be like, we need our own version of the Avengers, right? And then that's when the story
I
happens,
think
right?
I think that's what they're trying to do with the Thunderbolts. Like since there's really no Avengers like around,
Yeah, but it still doesn't even make sense though,
I
because
know.
they're not on the power level of the Avengers.
Oh, hell no, they get wiped out by the Avengers easily.
Yeah. Like they needed to find a group of people who were on par,
I-
right? Uh,
yeah.
man, oh my God. MCU
Anyone
just
can vote in a poll again. Remember,
like
you don't
what
have
is
to be a
going on at the
member
creatives
to vote in a poll. You have to
in
be
the
a member
MCU, by the
to
way?
chat,
James Gunn
but you don't need to be a
DC,
member
that's
Like,
to
oh
vote in the
my
poll.
gosh.
Oh, look at the yes. Oh, it's winning so hardcore. All right. So
Winning
while
is
you
so
guys
hardcore.
vote on that, does anybody have any questions or comments
Well, let's see.
about Thunderbolts?
Let's see.
Because that's my thoughts on the situation.
All right.
Yeah, I love Daniel Bruhl. Have you seen Rush with Thor in it? Chris Hemsworth? Amazing movie.
That's one
I
Chris
think this is the
Evans
end,
movie.
though.
Chris says, is he big screen worthy then and he's been on Disney
We're gonna
Plus?
do the
He
next
sure
podcast, the
is.
David Ayers stuff.
Because he's so
Cool.
great. I mean, like, that's back when the Disney Plus series were the level of a movie. Remember the first three? Those were movie level. Mr. Poppy, I think that's why, you said, do you recast with another Asian actor? That's why I think Charles Melton's an excellent suggestion. Jake Van Norden says,
I mean,
didn't they get rid
he
of
does have an
Ghost
interesting look, but I
powers
don't
in
know if
Ant-Man
he's
and the Wasp?
don't know if he's an actor with range,
Did
right?
Ghost lose her powers to Ant-Man and the Wasp? Their ability to...
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Did Ghost lose her powers? Because like Ghost was a wasted character. I mean, they just had to go. Ghost is the Iron Man villain, I think.
Yeah, Ghost
Actually
is
was
an
a
Iron
male,
Man
and Ghost
villain.
is
Ghost was technically on the Thunderbolts, but in the comics, but yeah, I mean, I don't. The MCU version is not super interesting. Like, I don't know why she's on the team.
Sometimes Marvel will have their villains be very close to their counterparts in the comics, and sometimes they'll take villains and make them totally opposite of what they are.
Yeah. The Ant-Man movies, I keep saying, the Ant-Man movies were every single one of them were crap. They're all freaking crap, man. One of the worst superhero trilogies.
Both of them came after
ever.
Avengers. Both of them came after Avenger movies, right? The next movies after Avenger movies. If I remember, like the first Ant-Man came out.
Ant-Man 3 is definitely the worst, though, and the best is definitely the first one, though. But the worst trilogy by far.
They make Ant-Man defeat Kang.
That's what Marvel gets for ditching Edgar Wright.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm sure if he made an Ant-Man trilogy, it probably would have been the best thing the MCU ever did.
Probably.
It's easy. Oh, Seattle Laundered, you're always so generous. So happy. I hope you had a happy holiday, Seattle Laundered. The lead Care Bear, it used to be Elena, but now I think they've rewritten it. So I think Bucky's technically the lead, but it's probably, I would think it's a two-hander.
How does she know if
Elena's in the movie, she's going to be a lead because she.
How does she know if they rewritten it? How does she know that?
Yeah, I have no clue how she would know that.
Yeah, hasn't that we don't. Like,
did someone read the new script and told her that Yelena's not the main character anymore?
We know, yeah, we know Blade has, but how? Right, we know Blade has, and how does she know this?
We do know that. No, they did. They brought in the beef writers to rewrite. Yes. They weren't there originally.
Okay,
they're now the main writers. I'm pretty sure they came in. Before I think it was before the strikes.
Yelena should not be the lead. She's too young.
Yelena's the character everybody likes the most.
But that's the problem. She's too young to lead.
I mean, yeah, she's. The thing is, though, it makes sense though because what's her name went to Yelena first.
To me, it should be Bucky. because Bucky has the military
But
experience.
why would anyone trust Bucky though?
Because he was there with the
And also too, why would he want to lead? Isn't that his? Wasn't the whole point of uh Falcon and the Winter Soldier was that he's just kind of like
I don't
gonna do
know.
his own thing, like he's gonna
He
just kind of
he
lay
was there
low.
he was during all the Thanos stuff. He's a soldier. I don't know. Like I guess my guess is they're gonna. But if Thunderbolt Ross is gonna be on the team, if he is on the team, he's gonna lead because he is the president.
There's no way Thunderbolt Ross is in this movie.
But if he is, he's gonna be leading because he's the president, right? And the president will obviously be the leader, or the boss.
I really think he's not in this movie. It doesn't really make much sense.
Well,
And
he
by the
said-
way, the Thunderbolts is not like that has really nothing to do with him. It's just like a coincidence. And then obviously he ended up being on the team and they worked it into the title, but that was just really a coincidence. Yeah.
yeah.
He is just a powerful personality. I can see that. I mean, I can see it. I mean, it's basically Marvel Suicide Squad, and they don't quite have the.
There you go,
Yeah.
Glided. Marvel Suicide Squad.
The more they say that, the more it
They don't
becomes
quite have the
true, and
mischievous
then
Suicide Squad.
nobody's gonna watch the movie. They're the ones putting that narrative out there. The MCU fans, they're all saying this is Marvel Suicide Squad. It's not. And the more you keep saying it, the more people would be like, "Oh, it's Marvel Suicide Squad." Then I'm not gonna watch because we already have Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So they're setting up these Marvel fans like every day. It seems like they're setting up the MCU for failure. They don't want to listen to criticism. They don't want to. When we say, "Hey, this is, this would have been interesting, right?" Or, "Hey, this is probably what's more preferred because we enjoyed it in the comic," or, "Hey, maybe you should come up with something different, go in a different direction." They get mad. They go, "No, no, no! Kevin Feige can do no wrong." And then when shit like the Marvel bombs and flops, or when they start, have to rewriting stuff. It's always some excuse. Like the MCU fan base is so freaking annoying. There's always an excuse, man. Every day I go on Twitter, someone is making some excuse.
I know.
It's so infuriating. Like, come on.
See, this is the confusion. Now, the confusion is like some things are canon, some things are not canon. One thing they say this is canon, the next day this thing is not canon. Now it's canon
Right.
again. That just confuses the people writing the screenwriters or showrunners. Just
Because none of
everyone.
because none of it matters. That's the truth. They're saying that because they want people to be interested in this and watch their show. That's it.
If
If it was canon, well, then they
And-
would have said it a long time ago that it
you
was
know what he
canon.
said, they said Daredevil and now it's technically canon to Echo, the Netflix, right?
Right.
It sounds like Echo is not going to be that good.
Well, yeah, and that's their reason to get everybody in the door.
And I haven't seen reviews or anything or early impressions on Echo. It comes out very soon. Have you seen any? I haven't checked, honestly.
I haven't seen any, but I know that the reviews they lift the day of release.
Oh, they lift the day of release? Yeah, that's not a
Yes.
good sign.
That's never a good sign. But MC, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're barely promoting it, by the way, if you notice.
No, you're not. Yeah, you're right.
I don't see any advertisements anywhere, so
I see a little bit on
maybe the ads aren't targeting me, but I don't see any
I don't
ads.
All right.
Particularly David Ayers' version of it. They're missing that fun factor. This is a very serious group of people. But Yelena, I think, is the closest they can get maybe to a Harley Quinn. She's not bad.
Such a bizarre comparison, by the way.
Her Black Widow is a
Like what does Yelena like?
Is she just-
What are the similarities between Yelena and Harley Quinn? I don't understand.
That she can make she makes a little bit of jokes at times. That's it. You know how many characters are like that?
I don't really know. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't get it.
They're both blonde.
And why? And this is another problem, right? Like, why? Why can't it just stand on its own? Like, why does it need to be compared to something? Why does it need to be their version of something, right? Like that, I don't understand that. Like and Grace Randolph, I feel like is a problem too. It's like they pigeonhole the MCU into like, okay, this is what it should be,
Yeah.
right? And oh, if they do something that's dark, oh, it's too dark for the MCU, right? But then when something like Secret Invasion comes out, they go, "Oh my God, the MCU is doing something dark and serious,"
It
and oh my God, I'm
sucked.
excited. Yeah, and then it sucks, right? So it's like they're all over the map. Like it makes no sense,
Loki,
right? Like,
Loki was a perfect example of something that actually worked. That was dark and
yeah,
serious, like and a little bit funny too. It has some funny moments, but it worked. Secret Invasion was the
but like
opposite.
you see what she's saying there, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense. Like wasn't I'm fairly certain she was like, "Oh, the MCU was sorry, Secret Invasion being dark was interesting and oh, it's fresh and I'm excited. This is like the, Captain America, the Winter Soldier." So
Not even
like, well,
close.
yeah, but I mean like that's what she was hoping it was going to be, right? So when this movie now does something that's dark or different, oh, it's too dark and oh, we can't have this in the MCU. Like that's why the MCU is falling off. It's because it's just doing the exact same thing it did 5 years ago. It needs to do something different. If this movie is rated R, which I highly doubt, but
It's
that's a
not going to
step
be rated R.
forward to doing something different, right?
It's not going to
Like,
be rated R.
yeah, I don't think it will be. Whenever. Yeah, I
Did
do
you
agree.
like the
That's another.
Thunderbolts comic? I don't like it. I want
Well,
bad
the
guys. And
grass
I
is.
didn't like the
This is
new
a great
Thunderbolts.
comment. This
They
is a great
relaunched.
comment. This is a great comment
Yeah.
because there's so many different issues we can get into, right? Of like why we're or at least for me, let me just speak for myself, right? On why I'm dissatisfied with the MCU because it's like it seems like they run the course of the cinematic universe to the point where it's exhausting, it's overwhelming, and the only people who are like just rabid and diehard about this are the blind MCU fans who cannot take criticism, right? And they're the ones that Marvel Studios thinks, everybody thinks that way, right? Like, oh, well, we could do no wrong. That's why they put out Ant-Man 3, one of their worst movies ever, right?
Yeah.
So like they need something. They need to divorce themselves from the cinematic universe concept for a little bit, right? Like do Secret Invasion or not Secret Invasion, Secret Wars, and like I don't want to say reboots, but like can we just have maybe standalone stories? Like does everything need to be interconnected? Can I just watch the show without, watching another movie that I don't really want to watch? Like,
Hmm.
because that's what brought down Marvel Comics in general, right? Is like when everything started to be interconnected, and you need to read this
I'll
comic if
say
you want
this.
to read this event, and like they
I'll
need
say
to
this.
stop. They need to stop.
That's a hurt Captain Marvels, the Marvels movie
Yeah,
because you have to go if you haven't seen Wanda, if you haven't, because they do explain the Marvels, like how Captain Rambo or Monica Rambo got her powers, the witch's hex from WandaVision, and Kamala
right.
Khan. If you haven't, like, they'd be like, wait, how? They'll be like, if you haven't seen WandaVision and she says this is how you got her powers, like now these people have to go back to WandaVision
Hmm.
and see, oh, that's how she got her powers. Now, same with see, WandaVision and Miss Marvel did not help the Marvels at all. Not helping at all,
No, yeah, exactly.
right?
I think it made it worse, to be honest. I think if the Marvels introduced both of those characters in the movie
They,
without being established in TV shows, it might have been better. It might have done
like we said,
better.
blinded. We said this on the stream before. They might have to do something like comics do for this. This happened in this issue. Maybe they have to do the MCU now. If you haven't seen, if they have to, if they're saying something, but if they're explaining how this character this character went through this or got these powers or went through this,
Right.
but you didn't see the movie or the TV show of that event. Maybe they have to put a little blurb and say this happened in this,
But I think
but
but
they
here's the
won't.
thing,
Like, they
right?
don't do that in
Like
movies. They don't do that. Yeah,
I think if that I mean we did say that, yeah.
yeah,
Um like a recap or something, but the
yeah.
thing is like and I can understand why they never did that because then it would really make all this feel like homework. And that's the point
Exactly.
where we're at now, where this it's not interesting to watch any of this stuff because it's like, well, you have to watch X, Y, and Z, and I don't really care for X, Y, and Z, right? So, like I think Marvel just needs to go back and
I get
focus
the
on,
feeling with comics too, man. Because when they do that,
yeah,
the blurb
comics are
stuff.
like that a lot.
Yeah, because of homework, because of this happened in this issue, this issue. I'm like, now I go read, now I gotta go to read that issue and see how that happened. Like,
Right. Like right now, I would rather just read mini series, right?
yeah,
Or just I would like following a writer, a specific writer. Um, because it's like, well, I'm really just there for the writer and their work, right? If I'm not familiar with the character, that's fine, but I'm just really reading it to see what they do, right? And then I end up enjoying it or I like the character, right? Because like following the story itself,
mm-hmm.
the overarching story, I mean, I feel like that's the reason why comics aren't popular anymore. It's like
Oh yeah,
who has the time to read all of this and when
comics
most of
is
it's not good.
comics like they have the greatest luck in the world because they survive every time.
Yeah.
It's like because it all comics.
Something needs to change though.
Yeah, yeah. They're amazing. It's amazing surviving business because there's been times where like comics look like they'd be going out of business, especially
Right.
DC and Marvel. But like they survive. Like it's amazing how they were able to survive. They're lucky they got two really big companies owning them, Warner Brothers and Disney. They're lucky
Hmm.
because they're lucky. Marvel's lucky Disney bought them because they were on the verge. Because if they didn't, because you would not see the MCU if Disney didn't buy Marvel. I don't know.
Right.
Right? Like I get I don't know who else was in the running to buy Marvel at the time. I was I was a little bit younger back then, so wasn't paying attention to business sales back then between for comic book companies and stuff. But
Hmm.
I didn't know who else was in the bidding for Marvel when Disney bought it. But like I would think, can you imagine Warner Brothers bought back then and have both universes?
Damn.
uh,
I think the at the time who was in the running, I think Paramount was also in the running to buy Marvel.
okay.
Um, but yeah, I don't know anybody else.
Degrassi might. No, Degrassi might know. Who was in the running before Disney got him? Degrassi.
Well, I mean, like who were actually going to purchase them, or like throughout like time, because Sony was also going to buy, like they had the opportunity to buy Marvel, but they just
Because
bought Spider-Man instead.
Sony wanted to have their Marvel Cinematic Universe too. They wanted
Well,
that.
I don't think they want a cinematic universe. I think they just want, like, no one at the time was like they
Hmm.
need a cinematic universe, right?
Except Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers wanted one. They wanted
Well,
Justice League Immortal.
well, yeah, they want it, but Justice League Immortal wasn't a cinematic universe. It was just one movie that I
With
mean,
spin-off
we don't know if it would have spun off different,
that was
you know.
that was their plan though.
I don't recall that being the plan though. I
It
thought it
was.
was just one standalone movie
I think Degrassi. I think there was reports that it was
because
supposed.
because the thing is that wouldn't really make sense. Like they couldn't spin off and make a Batman movie because they had Christopher Nolan's Batman movies.
Yeah, but they had the other. But they had Superman. They had Wonder Woman there. I think that was the plan was for them to spin off from Justice League Immortals. Degrassi will correct us on this because Degrassi knows a lot more about this stuff than us. Let's be honest. We're like babies compared to him.
So Iron Man, well, producing Marvel Studios did finance Iron Man,
Yeah.
and um, Par- I'm pretty sure Paramount distributed Iron Man, right? And I think Paramount also distributed Thor and Captain America, and then Disney
First
distributed
phase.
Avengers.
Okay. So Avengers is really the first Disney.
Yeah, they were they were cool. Yeah.
Disney. So Avengers is really the first Disney produced comic book movie. Like, I mean, Marvel
Well,
fully.
Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 was
Hmm. Okay.
like there's some weird stuff with Iron Man 2, but yeah.
Thunderbolts with Hawkeye. Did not care for it. It had a great cover. I bought it. I was all excited. I was like, oh. I haven't heard anything about Songbird official, Liam. That's not to say maybe she shows up like in the end credit sequence, or maybe she is there, but I haven't heard anything.
Because you don't know, you don't
Songbird.
don't
So
have
that's another
rumors.
thing.
You don't have
If you're
scoops.
a fan of Thunderbolts, you're going to be
Like,
upset
I believe
Songbird
that, but
isn't in
like
this
we know you
movie.
don't have scoops, Grace. Let's be honest.
Well, no, the thing is, it makes no sense
Juan
for
Carlos
Songbird to
says,
be in
I'm a
this
fan of Daniel
movie.
Bruhl.
Yeah, I agree. Why would she be in this movie? Right? Like, seriously.
None of the original Thunderbolts make sense to be in this movie. And the only one that they'll probably jam in there, if they're real stupid, is Zemo. That's the only one that they can really put in there, but it doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. But I mean, they'll find a way to make it work, I guess. But
Hmm.
He was great on Merry Christmas, World War I Christmas Truce, Colonia with Emma Watson. I recommend both movies. He's fantastic. He is 100%. And then Nicholas says Disney already has shown they don't care about fandom opinions. Just look at the new Star Wars drama. Disney is dead. I don't think
MCU
so.
is
I think
dead.
Marvel's pretty good at it. I think they care about fan opinions.
I mean they do.
Oh,
But
Gareth.
yeah.
I think that actually, you know what?
So I feel
Actually,
like
you
we
know
had a
what?
little bit of a break.
This is
It's
how
so
I
nice
see
to
it.
see you
I
guys.
think they care maybe too much about fan opinion. At least Marvel, because Marvel
I think
literally jeopardizes some
I
of their
think
stories for cameos and fan service.
I think they cater to the
So
fans, Marvel, too much.
so I feel like it's actually the
Point.
total opposite.
Yeah, they cater. They
At
definitely
least
cater.
Marvel wise, like I don't know about Star Wars, but
No,
definitely
no.
Marvel.
The Marvel Studios does cater at times to the fans. You're right. I agree with that.
Gareth with your Golden Girls avatar. I love it. So let me see what the poll was. Leo says, is Adam Driver going to be in Thunderbolts? I know. Why did you even
Hell
make you even
no.
ask that? That's
I don't
hilarious.
think Adam Driver does not want to do
Zemo,
franchises.
75% say he needs to be in Thunderbolts. So look, many of you don't even know who Sentry is, but you know who Zemo is, and that's really overwhelming.
Of course I know Zemo because I've seen him before.
J-Lo, it's so good to see you back as well, with 5 memberships as well. You guys are great. BTT VIPs for sure.
Like Grace. Of course they know who Zemo is and not Sentry. Not all of them are comic book people. But the
Right.
people that have seen Zemo have seen
him
Civil
in
War.
they saw him in Civil War and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. So of course they know who Zemo is over Sentry.
Right.
It's the way she made it sound like she was shocked by that. You know, like why would we be shocked by that?
Yeah, no one should be shocked by that.
No.
Oh, that's right, Lev. Ayo Edebiri is in Thunderbolts, but I don't know if she's Songbird or not. I haven't heard who she's playing.
Who?
Thank you, Tiff. But that's great that that's really cool. She could be Songbird, maybe. That would be race bending the character. But
Who?
I love
Who
Ayo
the actress?
Edebiri. I'd be
Who the
happy to
actress?
You
see her.
can't
She
do
could be anything.
Songbird, man. Like
Matthew says, do you think
What's Songbird's name?
you can't do Songbird. It's like, come on, like you need at least 2 movies. Okay, 2 movies. Oh my God, this is such a mess, man. This is such a mess.
No, she's not. She's not Thunderbolts though. Well, she was in
That
Thunderbolts.
actress?
No, she is. She was in the Thunderbolts team, but like, don't do
Who?
it.
Wait, you're talking about Songbird or the actress that she's
who is the
referring to?
actress? Who is the actress? Did
She
say?
was in. I mean, she was in The Bear, and she's in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
She was April in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, the animated movie that just came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So there's no.
Yeah, apparently she's in Thunderbolts, but Yeah, no one knows what role she has. It might just be a minor role, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think she's in it.
MCU will
Songbird
begin
is
to
definitely
connect the
not in
dots
the
with
Thunderbolts,
continuity at
though.
some
No.
point soon. I hope so. I do believe that is the trick to their success, that everything is linked. You feel like I've
No,
been
it's
speaking
not.
to a number
None
of
of this
people like
stuff is
casually,
all
and some
linked.
of them, I've had more than one person say,
That's all a bunch of. I think people should know by now that they have no clue where this is going. It's pretty clear they have no clue. And
I
to be honest, they had no clue back during the Infinity Saga. They had to let James Gunn figure that all out. Once he came out and said that, that exposed the fact that they just knew, the only thing they knew was Thanos is the villain that they want to do for the final Avengers movies. That's all
yeah,
they knew. They didn't know how they were going to do it. They didn't know how all this was going to connect, and they were just like, we'll just go one by one. And if you know behind the scenes stuff, you would know that leading up to the Avengers, there was a lot of disagreements and they had no clue what they were going to do. That's why John Favreau didn't even return for Iron Man 3. So this whole narrative that Marvel was always connected and they knew what was going on, they
no.
did not. No, that was not true. They had a rough idea and that was it. None of this was really like, it's not like there was some Bible where it's like, oh, this movie leads into this movie. And I mean, there was nothing like that for the MCU. It was all guesswork. It was all like, we'll
It's
figure it out eventually.
it's really being exposed in this saga.
Yeah, this saga more than ever because they
Yeah,
they decided to go for a crazy concept that is complex. The multiverse is a complex
and
concept.
in the start, their major franchise player for Kang is gone. Like that
Yeah,
really hurts. That puts a wrinkle into their plans because they got to find somebody if they're going to replace Kang with a different actor or going to go with a different down a different road. They got to do something.
exactly.
Like right?
Yeah, and they
I just
who,
couldn't
who
keep up
knows
with
when
it
we'll get a
anymore because there was
recast.
just too much.
Yeah.
And and so I hope that they get that back. Steven says, do people actually even want Thunderbolts? Like, how many fans do these characters even have? No, I disagree, Steven.
Exactly.
I want Thunderbolts. Let me ask. We'll
Here,
do one
here.
more poll. This is a poll.
Fans can say
You
fans can
you
say
wanted
they
the
want one,
Marvels.
but it's not really up to them. I know.
like
I
like
know, but
her response is,
but
well, I wanted. Okay, but like you wanted the Marvels, you wanted a lot of the stuff that Marvel's been putting out, and they all been
it's not
flopping.
really up to us. It's not really up to us. It's
Yeah.
really up to the studios. We don't make the decisions. we
Well,
cut
I want to know.
sometimes sometimes we do with our money based on the box office for some stuff, but not with Marvel, not with comic book movies.
But I want to know,
'Cause-
like, what, like, why is Marvel, like, like, okay, how does Marvel decide what gets a TV show and what gets a movie? Because the Thunderbolts could also be a TV show too.
Oh yeah,
Like, it's not like any of
it
these,
might
like, all these actors on the team, they've all been in TV shows.
it might be in the contract. They might have like, okay, we could be on the Disney Plus. We could have this on the. You could have me in this Disney Plus show on this Disney Plus show, but but I have to be in the movie too. It might be this in the contract. It could be something like that.
Maybe,
That's,
but I just, like, I'm curious, so, like, how they pick what gets a
yeah,
movie and what gets a TV show. Because at this point, like, we know that the
I
TV shows operate like
I
movies
feel
too.
like
They could easily be
back in
movies.
2019 when they asked Disney Plus, I feel like all the actors and actresses that got their own show, like WandaVision, Loki, Falcon Winter
Falcon,
Soldier,
yeah,
I feel like they
Wanda.
renegotiated with them to be on the TV show. To
Well, yeah,
be
I'm pretty sure they did because those actors had like multi
yeah.
picture deals, and I don't think Marvel was going
And
to
then
use them.
when you meant that when you said multi-picture, they probably thought movies, right? So they probably had
Yeah,
to be negotiating for the TV aspect. Yeah,
I don't know, but her being like, "Oh, well, I want it," like, I don't think that's, yeah. Like Grace has this weird. She always flop back and forth, right? If like she wants it now all these some other people want it,
yeah.
that's fine, right? Because she's excited for it. But then when it flops, And then everybody goes, well, I guess nobody
It's,
wanted it. Then she has this weird defense mechanism where it's like, oh,
I,
it's she
I
gets
bet
upset.
you. I bet you
Like,
some of them don't want to do a long production TV show. Sometimes I'd rather do a movie than a TV production. If you ask me, because production on TV is much longer than a movie, right? Like you
yeah,
got because you got to do multiple hours. Like a movie, right? Movies obviously when you get into theater, it's obviously like an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. But a movie's really more because they cut out stuff. But like compared to a TV show, they cut out a lot of stuff in TV shows too,
right,
right? It's like gaming is the longest. Gaming is longest, right, for production, right? Because obviously, then it goes TV show, and then it goes to a movie, right? Like, so like I know David Harbour, and I think David Harbour says he doesn't want to do like a TV or a show for a while. I think he wants to go after Stranger Things. I think he did say he wants to do and Creature Commandos, but that's voice work. It's not like voice work is work,
right.
but it's not as stressful, right?
It's
Because you don't really,
different. Yeah,
yeah, you don't have to actually like particularly have
there's
to do
not
physical
much you could
stuff.
do. Yeah,
Yeah, right. But I think he did say I don't know how many months ago, but it was last year. He did say he's not really interested in doing some TV work anymore. He's more interested in doing the film.
right. I mean, but still, like these actors are all TV actors, so that's why I say like, you know, why isn't this a TV show? Like, what
You
makes this a movie?
you remember that term? This used to be a term where somebody specifically a TV actor and not a movie
Hmm.
actor. It's not like that anymore.
No, it's not like that anymore. Yeah.
The addition of streaming services, stuff like that, streaming shows, they get movie actors to do TV stuff now. It's
I mean, but the only actress who I would say is more movie-like is
mm,
Yelena. Like everybody else has been in a lot of TV shows as of recently.
Helena's only been one, right? Hawkeye.
Yeah, she was in the hot. No, no, no. I mean, like the actress. I'm blinking on her name.
Florence Pugh?
Yeah, Florence Pugh. There
Yeah,
you go.
Hawkeye
Sorry.
is the only one. Yeah, Hawkeye.
That was it. That was the only TV show that she was in. Like,
That's the only one I know. I know she might have been others like before she
I
got
think
round
she was in
known.
something else. No, I feel like she was maybe not. I know, obviously, David Harbour is in Stranger Things, but like Sebastian Stan
Yeah,
was in
she
quite a
did.
few TV shows.
She did.
And
She was a TV shows before she got really well. Yeah, she was
but I mean, like recently,
recently
like within
Human
the last
Resources.
3 years.
It's a show called Human Resources.
Okay, so not a lot, but like
It's an animated
Sebastian
show.
Stan,
It's an animated show.
Sebastian Stan was in a lot of TV shows or like
Yes.
miniseries and things
He
like
was he
that.
was he was he was from what's that show called? Blake Lively's show. What's it called? Gossip Girl? Is that the show he's from? Wasn't he from Gossip Girl? Not the remake, because that's the one for Blake Lively is in, right? Gossip Girl? Let me see. Was he in or was he or was I think oh no, he wasn't a Gossip Girl. Okay, he wasn't. I thought he wasn't Gossip Girl. Yeah, Sebastian Stan was in Gossip Girl. Yeah, he was for a little bit. Yeah. All right, let's
Also,
continue.
this face that she's making is like horrifying.
I know. I'm sorry.
Holy story. Do you even want a Thunderbolts movie?
Oh,
Heck
what
yeah.
were the
Up next,
results of this one?
Bumblebee. Thank
I
you
saw
for gifting
this
5 memberships.
stream,
Heck
but
yeah.
I
Sure, why
don't
not?
remember what the results were.
And then
I don't know. I don't remember
waste
either. We'll go
of
back
an
to it.
MCU movie.
Let's see what she gets for this. Man, this is a long ass topic.
All right. Anyone can vote in a poll. Anyone can vote in a poll.
To be fair, we were pausing it, but
Let's see here. The Fawns 25. We can't talk about. I'm under embargo on Echo. I can't talk about Echo. I haven't seen. Only the first 3 episodes have been given to press, so I haven't even seen the finish. And I think that.
and let
They
me
gave
guess,
away
it's
like more than
mid.
half of the show ready to the press. Yeah.
Yeah,
3 episodes. You should not
3
give more than
episodes.
half of. That's bad.
that's going to be
Let me
important
guess, it's
to the
mid.
show.
It's like 60%.
No, she'll probably like the show. I bet.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, "This
But I'm
show
really
is
glad that
amazing,
the
and it
Native
reminds me
American
of
community is
Daredevil,"
excited
and
about the character.
that's what's gonna happen.
I
Oh,
hope it
maybe
does
that was a
as
tell.
well
What she
next
just
week for
said. That
you
was a
guys.
tell.
I
That
hope
she
I hope
said that
everybody
she's
loves
happy
We
the
gotta
that
do
the
the
native.
opposite, blind.
Hey Watu, thank you for gifting
She
a
said,
membership.
"Did you see
The
what
blind, you
what
gotta
she
be
said?"
opposite.
Might be the yeah. That's what I'm thinking. With that,
Oh,
what she
the
So
native part.
yeah she said, "Oh, I'm
about
happy for the."
Echo.
Usually when she
I
says
haven't
something
seen
like that,
only the first 3 episodes have been given to press. So
yeah.
I haven't even
Listen to
seen the
this.
finish, and I think that's going to be important to the show. But I'm really glad that the Native American community is excited about the character.
I don't know.
hope it
This
goes
to
well next
me
week for you
sounds like a.
guys. I hope everybody loves the show. Hey Watu, thank you for gifting a membership.
Or maybe she did like it. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
So
don't
anyone can
think.
vote in a poll, by the way. Anyone can vote in
I
a
think
poll.
it's
You
gonna
don't
be
have to be a member.
mid. I think it's gonna be mid.
Who's
All
looking
right.
at me? Come on, say something. Say something.
I do love some David Harbour poke. I didn't even think about him being in the movie. I don't think he's doing the voice in that What If teaser for season 3. I was like, that doesn't sound like David Harbour. And what is David Harbour doing that he can't do the voice for this?
He was
A lot
doing
of things.
DC shit.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give another moment on the vote, and then we'll move to the next story.
Okay, we'll get to David Ayer. Man, we spent like an hour and a half on this stuff.
All right. All right, I'm going to move on to the next story. Here we go.
How long should we talk about this?
All right.
20
Oh,
minutes.
hey, Ohad in Tel Aviv. Stay safe. So let's see here. 38% say sure, why not?
Sure,
Not
why not?
exactly a ringing endorsement, but at least it's positive. 31% feel it's a waste of an MCU movie, and 29, basically thirds to a degree, and the 29% say heck yeah. So 70 or 69% of you want the movie, or you'll take it.
That's not.
Why did she
pretty
do
good.
that?
I'm
Why
surprised
did
so
she
many of you
do?
don't want the
That's
movie.
not what it says. Sure, why not? Doesn't really mean so. Yeah, I want the movies. Yeah, okay. I don't care. Make the
Yeah,
movie.
like
That's what it
you
says.
can't just like merge. Like it should have just been yes or no. Like, do you
That's
want the
not how
movie?
voting
Yes or no?
works. That's not how voting works.
Yeah, like she always does that, you know, like especially when it's like leaning in the favor that she wants. Oh yeah, my audience wants it. I want the movie
It's
too.
like it's
Now
like,
I hope this movie bombs. Out of petty, out of spite. Let this movie flop.
it's so funny. It's like those polls. She probably put a poll up like, oh, this movie is great, good, okay, and bad, and all of a sudden like, the majority it'll be like 25. It'll be like 25% of it okay, 25% good, 25% no, it'd be like how can I add up to 100% without being 25? Okay, if you have right,
Right.
right, 'cause obviously I don't know, but you get the point. Should be like adding up all the good, okay, good,
Yeah,
okay,
she will
and
add
great.
up merge the good and okay to say,
Yeah,
yeah, everybody liked it. If
yeah.
something I mean like it's annoying. Oh my gosh.
When somebody says sure, right, not, it usually means yeah, go. I really don't care. Go for it. That's what
Yeah.
it really means. That's what when you ever hear somebody say that, that's what it means, right? It's
Yeah,
like
it's not like
yeah,
this crazy endorsement of oh yeah, I really, really want the movie.
yeah,
It's
heck
just like
yeah, I understand. Yeah, heck yeah, obviously, but like no. If you really think about it, it really goes to why is this movie being? It's really going with you really would merge it with why is this movie being made.
yeah.
Oh come on,
That's interesting to me. It looks great to me. I really want this movie. I'm especially.
you want every movie.
I wonder how many of you who voted you don't want it didn't see Beef. Because if you'd seen
Yeah,
Beef,
now
you
she's
would have
like,
known that it's going to be good.
I saw
All right, let's
beef
move on to the
and I
next
don't think
story
this
of the
movie's gonna
day.
be
All
good
right, hold
because
on.
it's
All
not
right.
beef. It's like it's a comic book
Okay, so
Marvel
David
movie.
Ayer,
Like,
he finally said in the last few hours,
Yeah.
here's his tweets. He says, "I'm done with DC. I'm done with those jerks. There it is. I'm done with DC.
Good.
Done with them. I
Should have moved
hate
a long
them so
time
much."
ago.
Good.
And then he
David Ayer,
also,
man,
someone
you
asked for some
coping
further
hard.
clarification, and he said, "Nothing about the situation feels good. The studio has no interest in releasing it. It's time to run and not look
Why
back."
would they
all
want to
right,
release
so
it with a new universe starting?
Here's my
up?
thoughts
Yeah.
on it, and I'll let's do a poll.
And
while I
it's
try
probably
to-
not worth
seriously,
watching
why would
anyway.
James Gunn only would release it if he's doing a favor for David Ayers? That's it. But he's not going to do that. He has to look at the business and Peter Safran, the business aspect of DC.
Well, I
Why
also
would he
think
do?
it's probably not worth like this whole David Ayer cut thing that they've been like pushing for the last year or some change. Like
Oh, for the past few
it's
years.
not the same as the Snyder cut, and on top of that
I-
too, the Suicide Squad is still it's like an amalgamation of his
Yes,
version of the movie.
yes, and
So like I don't know.
hopefully this is a big sign for moving on, because he was like he's like someone that broke up with a girlfriend and boyfriend and still haven't moved on from
Yeah.
that, because he's been, even though, what was his latest film coming out, or TV? He had a film coming out, right, or something like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
he has Beehive.
Beehive. Oh, it's gonna be
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't know how good that's gonna be. Honestly, I know it's Jason Statham. It's probably supposed to be a ridiculous film. I mean, it's called Beehive, but like,
Is it the Beekeeper? Sorry, not Beehive.
the Beekeeper. Yeah, Beekeeper. Yeah. But yeah, I hope he really is moving on, because I mean, all he was bitching about DC on Twitter.
I think the reason why he's doing this is because if you think about it, isn't it kind of weird that David Ayer made Suicide Squad? It actually made a bunch of money. Yes, it didn't get
It
good
did.
reviews. But you
It
would
did.
think that because it made a bunch of money that he would go on to do other projects in similar scale.
Mhm.
But he never really did. Like he went and did Bright,
Right, not well
which
received.
which was not well received. And then ever since then, he's kind of just fallen off.
You know what? Because he has, I think, he was hurt by DC, and that's why I think it really had. I think you're right. I think that's because he did fall off, because I think that was him being hurt or not moving on from this.
Well, why not? Why not go and make another
Yeah,
franchise movie then?
I know.
You know, I don't understand. Like the part that I feel like he thinks that his version of Suicide Squad is like some gem, like we missed out on like this great comic book movie, but in all reality, I think it just would have been another mediocre slop that DC's been putting out in those years, right? Like it wasn't anything special. Like the way if you see him on Twitter, like he talks about it like this shit was like the Dark Knight. Like this shit would have like changed
It's
everything.
no Nolan.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like it just sounds like cope and shit. Like
And he was
move
cold.
on and make another movie, man.
Yeah, the only way to move on is basically make another movie,
Right.
or do something, right? Right? Like
Yeah.
look at Zack
We,
Snyder. He's clearly moved on,
well, I mean, the thing is, like, there was they did mess up with Zack Snyder, right?
and
Um, and the
yes,
movie turned out like crap. But it's not like the thing is they removed him while he was shooting on the movie, right? Like they
yeah,
got someone else to do his to make his movie.
yeah. Plus,
David
he
Ayer
didn't
still
do
got
it.
to make his movie, and it's studios. Like here's the thing: people always talk about studio interference and stuff, but like that's literally the job of the studio. You're working for the studio,
It's
right?
technically their film.
Yeah, it's technically their film, right?
Yeah,
And it's like I get why he's like acting like this because obviously the Snyder cut, and so many people saw the Snyder cut and feel like, well, I was wronged, right? Like,
but
why don't I
The
have
Snyder Cut
a
was not a
director's
game
cut?
changer or anything for like stuff like that. It wasn't the Snyder
No,
Cut was gonna be was not revolutionary, where all the directors are gonna get their cuts out now for films.
right.
It's not gonna. It
But
wasn't
like
gonna change it.
I think people saw it that way. And I
Yes,
think he
yeah,
thinks he's like his situation is like Zack Snyder.
and I think he did also the fandom too got to him too. pushing him over and over.
Yeah, I think they boosted his ego.
Yeah, and since people with big egos are deeply hurt inside, so I think that.
Yeah, I
But
think
let's
he
see.
just got burned because he felt
Yeah.
like he made this masterpiece of a movie, and honestly, like, well, I just don't get it. Like, why not go on and make something else? You know what I mean?
I don't even think his. I probably agree with that. His is not going to be as good as James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
No.
Okay. Oh, not a super chat. Hold on.
Hey, get to it.
Do you think the Ayer cut should be released?
No.
No, it's stupid. No, it missed its window.
Why can't you just put a yes or no
And
answer?
then
Why can't you just put a yes
Give
or
it to
no?
me.
Or give it to me. Or, yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
And again, anyone can vote in a poll. Only members can chat, but anyone can vote in a poll.
We
All
should
right,
do a
so
we should
I
do a
have to
live
say
stream
that
where we
I
watch
felt
her
this was
together
never going to
live.
happen. As soon as David
We should do
Ayers
that.
started campaigning for it, it was like, whoa, get off Zack Snyder's coattails.
We should do when she goes
Mm.
live. We should do a stream together when she's actually live streaming in the future.
Stream sniper down.
Man.
Yeah, sniper. Yeah, stream sniper's great. I bet she does. I bet she does. She probably does get stream snipe at times. I bet she does.
I mean, I think if you thought we could get the Ayer cut, you totally misunderstand what drove the Snyder cut, and that was injustice. And that's
Injustice.
because how Zack Snyder was treated by particularly Jeff Johns and the movie leadership at Warner Brothers at that
The
time.
Justice League.
That he had been ripped off of his movie under false circumstances, which is interesting. And then, had been forced to say, oh, yeah, this is what I wanted. And then, have his work just completely massacred by Joss Whedon. When he wasn't. I just think Hollywood's a tough business.
Hi, George.
But I just feel like the way it was handled was really, really unfortunate, and something that
Hi,
was
George.
unusual.
Oh,
So that's why everybody wanted to see
what's
Zack
up?
Snyder's cut of the movie. But David Ayer just didn't like how his movie turned out, and there's a ton of directors in the same boat.
Did she say that? She said he did. David Ayers says he didn't like how this movie turned out because it wasn't your movie, according to you, David Ayers. Of course. Is that what he said? He didn't like how this movie turned out. Well, it wasn't your movie.
Everybody else,
The thing is, the David Ayers and Zack Snyder situation is totally two different things, two completely opposite things. Right? A lot of stuff going on with Zack Snyder. David Ayers, they didn't like his cut. They did not like what they saw from his cut. So they went with so they tried to make him condense it or whatever. Right? That's the difference. Happens all the time, right, Blind and George?
yep.
contend with studio
size. I'm sorry.
executives. Everybody doesn't get their cut. That's why there's director's cuts in the first place. And so, remember, like Kathy Yan was jumping on there too, saying like, what about my Birds of Prey? And you're like, this is getting ridiculous. And by the way, a ton of directors are able to get a good movie out. So it's ridiculous. So you just can't go and cry about it.
I have a question for you guys. If the movie was good, would he be whining about this? Would anybody want the director's cut? Would anybody be caring about the director's cut? If the movie
I don't
was
care
good?
about director's cuts anymore at this point.
What about you, Blind? Are you there?
Say that again. Sorry.
So say this movie turned out to be good. Not the director's cut, but the original version, the one we saw in the theaters, turned out to be good. Would anybody care about the director's cut?
Wait. I'm losing my mind right now. Say that again. Holy crap.
Okay.
My brain is like, what the hell just happened?
Okay, if that movie, if the movie we got in 2016, the one in theaters, turned out to be good and people liked it, well received, would anybody cares about a director's cut version? Or
Okay. My God, my God, sorry. Okay, I had another tab open. That's why. Okay. My take on this is, probably no one would care. Like that's the end of the story. Because the thing is, like, if a movie is well received, right? No one really goes, "Oh, I wish I could see the director's vision." No one really
Yeah.
cares because they just enjoyed the movie, right?
Hmm.
So I mean, like let's say what happens if the cut that we have of Suicide Squad now was well received? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like then I don't think anybody would be asking for the air cut, right?
Yeah.
And also too, like I find it weird that they're asking for the air cut when they actually like what was put out. Do you notice? Have you noticed that? Like
Yeah.
it's not like the Justice League cut, right? Where it's like people hated the Justice League's uh Justice League, right?
Hmm.
Josh Whedon's version, and they were like, "Oh, it's crap" and whatever. But
Nice.
there's people who actually like David Ayers' cut, the movie that was actually put out in theaters, to the point where that's why they're asking for an air cut. They just want more of that Suicide Squad and not James Gunn's version. So I don't really see the point of the air cut anyway. It almost seems like redundant. Like you already have the movie that you like. Why do you need a director's cut?
Hmm.
Right? I don't know. The people who like
Because everybody has to deal with.
the people who like the Suicide Squad 2016, they're kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's probably the worst DC movie still. Like
Worst?
it's just a poorly
No.
made
What?
movie.
Wonder Woman
Yeah,
84.
definitely worst. I would definitely say worse.
Oh wow.
Wonder Woman 1984 is still more competent than that.
Wow. You're the only one
Yeah,
to
the
say that.
Suicide
Oh,
Squad literally
So
has like editing mistakes in it. Like it's abysmal. Like I'm surprised they even put that movie out. That's why it has such a low rating. Like people don't like people look at it and then they don't realize that like as a film like the filmmaking of it is really bad.
hmm.
You know what I mean? It doesn't even make sense what is going on. Like there's actually like okay, the one of the biggest there's an entire video on this by the way. There's an entire video essay that talks about how Boomerang there's like a setup for Boomerang that is never paid off, right?
Oh really?
And yeah, it makes no sense. Like you would well like why would you write this in if you were never going to
Yeah.
have a payoff for this, right?
Boomerang has no backstory in the movie.
Yeah, he
Like
has no backstory, and
Deadshot and Harley Quinn.
there's all types of weird
Yeah.
continuity errors, and the editing itself makes no sense. The story makes no sense. Um, it's a mess of a movie. It's still I still feel like it's the worst DC movie. Um, like it's even Batman vs Superman is pretty bad, but it's not as bad as Suicide Squad.
No. No.
Yeah, and I know people like I mean we ragged on 1984, but
Yeah, we did.
that movie is more of like it's just dumb. But Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad, like they're actually have like major issues, like more than just the writing itself. So yeah, don't put out a shitty movie. That's
video
I mean,
interference.
Yeah.
Everybody has to deal with it. Everybody has to, make those compromises. And yet their movies sometimes turn out really good or at least even watchable. So it's just nuts. And so I knew that he was never going to get an Ayer cut, but yet he persisted with it. And he should just, by the way, take heart that he influenced these characters so substantially. He particularly Harley Quinn, but also just making the Suicide Squad a household name. I mean, we just talked about Marvel trying to do their own
Household name? Household name? Are you kidding me? Blind, what's your take on that? Household name.
for
George?
what? Oh, sorry, I was in another
The
tab.
David Ayer is going to make the Suicide Squad a household name.
Oh, George can take this one. I've been talking a lot.
Oh wait, what was it? Sorry,
David Ayer was going to make the Suicide Squad a household name.
No, he wasn't. Listen. Like the Suicide Squad was not going to be a game changer like Guardians of the Galaxy was. Like a lot of people were trying to say, "Oh, the Suicide Squad." Well, at least the 2016 film. Oh, this is going to be DC's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, they compared
it's not.
Yes.
I mean, let's be real here. Like, are you really going to say like that group of villains was going to be as likable and hilarious as the members of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
You know, if it was James Gunn directing, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But here's the thing. Look, David Ayer, like he's made good movies, but he's never made anything that's stands out. That's the thing to understand. You're talking about a director who, like, the best thing he's been involved in, and I think it was like, what was it? Writing was Training Day. Was he the writer for Training Day? Like, that's probably the best thing that David Ayer's known for, and he wasn't even director for that one.
I think I agree with you, George. Like, Blind, what do you say to George's comment about because George was right. They did say that, the Suicide Squad is going to be like the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's going to be like the DC's version of Guardians of the Galaxy. And obviously it's not the case, but I'm like, I just said, if James Gunn was doing that one, there's a possibility. Because we kind of seen it in Guardians, we've seen it in his Suicide Squad. People like the characters there.
But also, like, don't forget, they hit the panic button after BVS with this movie. Not just because BVS didn't do so well with critics in the box office, but because Deadpool won people over and did better in the box office than expected. So this movie wasn't really going to have an original bone in its body because it wanted to like copy off of not just Guardians, but the fun tone of Deadpool. Mm-hmm. Like, you're talking about copying off of two superhero movies that were actually game changers because Deadpool was also a game changer.
Yeah. I'm blinded. So, yeah. Yeah, do you remember that back in the day when they said, Suicide Squad could be the DC's version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, make it likable? Remember that? George is right.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that, yes.
If it's James Gunn directing that one, maybe. Because James Gunn made Ratcatcher likable. How do you make a character like Ratcatcher likable, okay? Like, seriously. Like, he made Peacemaker likable. Like,
yeah, none of the. I mean, besides Deadshot, nobody's really likable, and Deadshot is only likable because he's a father and he's a struggling father trying to like actually help his daughter. But I mean, that's not. I mean, you could tell that was like their only way of making the character sympathetic. But yeah.
Yeah, Deadshot was done great. That's the reason why they changed that. That's the reason why Deadshot and Arkham Suicide Squad, the Kills of Justice League game is gonna be a different character because a different color character because of that movie. The movie changed everything, right? So we're gonna have an imposter, right? Because he takes out the imposter from the original Arkham games, and we get the original Deadshot. It's because of that movie. The movie changed everything for Deadshot going forward. I'm okay with it because I like the character. I like the character, whether he's white or black. I like it. He's a good character.
But also, like, you know, when you're played by an actor like Will Smith, who can also portray likable characters, like it's like it was gonna probably be hard. Like if you got an actor who couldn't pull off some of Will Smith's charisma and charm, Deadshot probably would not have been as likable of a character.
Will Smith has done a tremendous job over his years becoming a really good actor. Because he was known just from Bel Air, he was just known to be a funny, comedic guy, right? Even in some of the films in besides Bad Boys, but even some of the films in like Man in Black, Wild West, he was more of a funny kind of guy, right? But he's really improved a lot as an actor, like over the years, because he has range now. Let's continue with Grace because
version. And none of that would have existed, without some of the elements that David Ayer can, lay claim to. So now he says he's giving up. He feels he's shouting into the void. Although, remember, when James Gunn first took over DC, David Ayer said that James Gunn had been encouraging. Now, nobody knows for sure if that's true. Nobody knows if James Gunn actually was encouraging or if maybe David Ayer just mistook their interaction for encouragement. Because, David Ayer seems a little bit not connected to reality. At least in this situation. He's too close to it. The emotions are still too raw. But we do know that James Gunn, led a couple of people along only to then be like, who dis when they tried to call. Right? Now, I think that, by the way, I don't think James Gunn should release the Ayer cut. I mean, by the way, as we discussed on Movie Math, the public domain is coming up fast for these DC characters, particularly Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, just like a decade away. So, like they're really
Grace, coming up really fast, like a decade away. 10 years is not fast, and that's so stupid. Oh, the public domain's coming up for these characters. In 10 years. Oh, he'll be back. 10 years is a long way away, Grace. And guess what? Warner Bros. Is not going to give up their public domain for those characters. They're going to re-up those characters. We'll get blended back in, hopefully. I don't know what she's talking about. Seriously. Hey, George, is 10 years really, really fast?
It depends on how. It depends. It depends. Like, here's the thing. Like for some people, 10 years goes by quickly.
Yeah, but she's saying here, like, look what she's saying. Like,
only to then be like, who dis when they tried to call.
hear what she said.
Right? Now, I think that, and by the way, I don't think James Gunn should release the Ayer cut. I mean, by the way, as we discussed on Movie Math, the public domain is coming up fast for these DC characters, particularly Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, just like a decade away. So like they're really like underfoot here at Warner Brothers or whoever.
Grace, they could see, Grace, they could just decade away. They're just going to trademark them again and again and again, not make them public. That's what's going to happen. They're going to continue owning those characters. They're going to make sure of it. They don't have to do it the last minute, Grace. They could do it tomorrow if they wanted to. They could do it next year. And they could extend it longer. Don't worry, Grace. They're not. Grace. They're aware. And they'll make sure they'll not be public anymore. They'll make sure they'll keep those characters under their umbrella. So, Grace, relax, man.
Eventually ends up owning the DC IP. By the time this year is over, we'll see what happens. It could be quite interesting. But they don't have time to futz around with like the past. They got to move forward aggressively. And so they're just not going to do that. I think the best thing that David Ayer and Zack Snyder can do is to just make more great movies. Instead, they're going around proving their detractors right. I mean, Rebel Moon, I said, is good for the Snyder fandom, but it also, is a prime example of some of his bad tendencies. And it wasn't.
Yeah, he should go back to making good movies. Yeah, he made 2 bad movies in a row. Army of the Dead in this Rebel Moon movie. Yeah.
As big as everybody had thought it would be. And by the way, the Snyder cut wasn't either. That's the
you're gonna trigger Snyder fans, Grace.
If the Snyder cut was crashing HBO Max at the time, they would have said, "Give us the Snyder cut the Ayer cut right now." I mean, I was telling you those views were low. I know some people, it's very unfortunate, and I think I told you this before, that with the Zack Snyder cut, because part of it was the original movie, I know some like casuals who turned it on or saw the trailers and were like, it looks just like the other movie. And that's unfortunate because, of course, it was so much different. But, because the first movie was bad, people are like, why do I want to sign on for a 4-hour version of that? And it just really was unfortunate. I wish they had been able to do it episodically. But as I told you, everybody had signed movie contracts and Warner Brothers didn't want to negotiate new deals. So it couldn't be done as a 4-episode series, which I think would have benefited it substantially. There would have been chatter about it. I think it would work much better. And then David Ayer has The Beekeeper coming out. I mean, come on. Nobody's going to be like, yeah, David Ayer was robbed. They're like, I suspect, David, that it's more like The Beekeeper. And you'd probably be right. I mean, I'd like to see, like if somebody wanted to show me that Joker tuxedo scene, then I'd be like, sure, I'll look at it. But I'm not sad that I'm never going to see it, to be honest with you. I mean, I've seen some pictures of it. It's fine. I think particularly because also think about how things have deteriorated since that movie came out. Jared Leto, that ruined his career. And, he helped by doing some other really bad movies. But
No. Jared Leto has been some bad movies, but he's still doing movies and hasn't ruined his career. It's not like he's not being cast or anything. Jared Leto's still getting work. So that's totally a lie.
Dude's doing his own music as well.
Yeah. He's doing Tron, right? He's being cast in Tron, right? He's coming back for that. So I don't know where she got the idea that movie ruined his career.
I mean,
So-
I mean, if anything, I think Morbius would have done more to ruin his
Yeah,
career.
and it hasn't, right, George? Morbius hasn't ruined his career either, despite being horrible.
But then also Will Smith, Will Smith with what happened at the Oscars with Chris Rock, and it's continuously being brought up. Chris Rock had a really strong discussion about it on his Netflix comedy special, and then also I watched the Dave Chappelle special, which was I think again he
Here's the
cried
thing,
a couple
though.
of times. You were like,
Will Smith will come back from that. Will Smith will come back from that. It blinded. You should hear some ridiculous stuff she said.
Sorry, I got kicked out. I'm not
Okay.
sure why.
She said the Suicide Squad ruined Jared Leto's career. Now, I'm not Jared Leto's fan, but I'm pretty sure Jared Leto is still getting work.
I mean, I could see that line of thinking though. I mean,
Right.
Jared, ever since that movie came out, Jared Leto's been more on the decline.
Well, Morbius should be the one that kills his career, really, in my opinion.
I mean, he's been slowly killing his career, just bad decisions, and also
Yeah,
I think people just see him as kind of creepy now too, so
he
that
is
doesn't
kinda
help.
creepy. You can't. Your thing is, you can't really trust singers or music people. Can't really trust them. In my opinion, you
Yeah,
can't.
I don't know. Jared Leto kind of
Yeah,
overrated. I mean, he's been in a lot of good movies though, and I do think he can act. I just think he's
creepy.
well, no, I mean, as an actor, it's not just that, but like as an actor, I feel like he thinks he's better than he actually is.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah, and I feel like his Joker, like that's what I'm saying. Like, why do we need a haircut when, you know, he, like, do you really want to see more of Jared Leto's Joker that really has nothing to do with the movie and the story? Like his character's just sort of forced in there just because he's the Joker.
and it's Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn has
Yeah.
it.
And the thing is, like, again, the fan base who likes Jared Leto's Joker, they like it because of the theatrical cut, and now they're asking for an air cut. Like that's the part I don't understand
The
too.
theatrical cut. The thing is, that's in the future, right? Like, I don't know. I have a lot of problems with their cut, because they said Joker is not really. It's Joker's kind of the main villain, and I'm like, if Joker's the main villain, you're gonna have to have Batman a lot in this film too. I'm sorry, any film that has Joker as a main villain in some way, Batman has to be a major player in the film too. It's just how it works,
Hmm.
right? Because it's just how it works. Except for the Joker movies, obviously that's different, but generally that's how it works, right? So
Right.
whatever. Like I was thinking in this, and not even the air cut when Joker went after Harley Quinn, right? When trying to get back Harley Quinn in that scene, I was thinking, oh my god, Batman's gonna show up. Batman's gonna show up in the Batwing or something. Because I was thinking, knowing that Joker. First of all, I remember the movie. Didn't Joker go crash like a Rain Enterprise like science facility or something? If I'm correct.
When he was like when he was in that like weird purple
Yeah.
coat, yeah.
And so if that's the case, and Wayne Enterprise, Wayne is Bruce Wayne is Batman. When that case, wouldn't Batman go after Joker? Because he would make sure, because he would know about that. He would make sure to go after Joker. So I was like waiting. I'm like watching the theater and watching the movie. Oh my god, Joker is there to get Harley Quinn. I'm just waiting for the Batwing all of a sudden to come out and Batman comes out to take down Joker and stuff. Because to me that would make sense if you ask me in the film. That would make sense, right?
But another thing I just realized, maybe why they're asking for the haircut is, um, I think maybe they believe that Jared Leto's Joker performance is similar to how he was in the Snyder cut for that like brief moment. And maybe that's why they feel like, oh, if they release the haircut, that's like validating Zack Snyder's vision, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
because the theatrical cut really has nothing to do with
Mm-hmm.
having
Excuse me.
you know,
Yeah.
Batman in it. Batman briefly appears in it. Sorry. I was getting a
Yeah.
phone call. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah.
Come on, Dave. But other times it was very funny, and also he had an excellent close, like a really moving story to the end of this comedy special. But he spent a good deal of his comedy special talking about the Will Smith slap as well. Although to some degree he defended Will Smith a little bit,
Will
which I thought
Smith
was
shouldn't come
interesting.
back from a
And I
slap.
thought he had some points to both sides.
Okay.
He just boiled it
He's not
down
going to
more
be
to a
canceled
really
because
unfortunate
Will Smith's not
conversation.
getting canceled.
Although
because
he
of
did
slap.
say that Will
Okay.
Smith should not
Will
have been
Smith's not
able to
being
stay at the
canceled.
Oscars after that, after that incident. And, I think everybody was just so shocked they didn't know how to handle it. But it's interesting. It's an interesting situation. But so Will Smith, he's not really working right now because of what happened. I mean, we'll see how Bad Boys 4 does. That's going to be the big test. And then also Margot
That means
Robbie,
he is working, right?
who we're about to talk to with Barbie. Margot Robbie went on and became this huge producer star with Barbie. Her best thing yet, in fact. And she's been the most mature about potentially
She
leaving
was a star before Barbie, Grace.
her DC life behind. By the way, before I was like Margot Robbie, great producer, not a great, she
Okay.
doesn't always choose good roles for herself. But I've been loving her campaign for Barbie.
Actually, I gotta end it soon, man. I gotta eat soon. Oh.
She had like the greatest quote about being a producer and how she pitched Barbie to Warner Brothers that's going around. I'm like, wow, Margot Robbie is firing on all cylinders right now. I hope.
Wait a minute. That's a bull-faced lie.
Which is hilarious because she, of
That's
course,
a
made a lot of
lie.
bad, crappy movies.
Margot Robbie did not pitch Warner Brothers for Barbie. Actually, the fact
That
that
was
actually
Amy Schumer.
did.
Yeah, it was Amy Schumer. Sorry, I muted myself. I was trying to talk, but Amy Schumer. Because wasn't she going to star in it?
Yeah, Amy Schumer was the one who pitched it, not Margot. But Amy Schumer wanted a different version of Barbie, and Warner Brothers did not want that version. They wanted like a classic Barbie. That's a bull-faced lie. Oh yeah, she's not. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Star Wars, Cleopatra, Wonder Woman 3. Wonder Woman 3, remember, that was official, and that got taken away.
He's trying to win an Oscar, and she finally wins it playing Barbie.
She's not going to win. She's not going to win playing Barbie.
Grab the Taco Bell grilled cheesy burrito. Savor the flavor. Savor the moment.
So does anybody have any questions or comments about the Ayers cut
Oh,
before we move on to the next story? That's right, Nacho Flores. I'm on Team Margot Robbie now. I'm coming over here. I still think she needs a new stylist, but whatever.
Wait, was she anti Margot Robbie at one point?
Yeah.
Really?
I would have thought. I don't know.
I know.
I know. Well, I don't know. I know there was something that happened with Margot Robbie that she said or criticized.
Oh, okay. Because I know she makes it pretty obvious to Jessica Chastain.
She's gorgeous. I mean, she's gorgeous in a paper bag as opposed to like a great outfit.
What?
Oh, close the poll. Thank you, Alex. All right. So you guys, how you feel about the Ayers cut? It says, you guys said 38% of you think it's stupid and 38% of you feel it missed its window.
It definitely missed its window.
Which means, maybe at one point you would have had an interest in seeing it, but at this point, why bother? But overwhelmingly, that is
Blinded. She said Margot Robbie is at one. Blinded is still muted, but whatever. If you could hear me.
Sorry, no.
She said Margot Robbie is the one that pitched Barbie to Warner Bros. When in fact was actually Amy Schumer who did it.
No, Amy Schumer was Sony.
Was Sony?
Yeah. And then Sony didn't pick it up, and Mattel wasn't happy with the pitch, and so
they
yeah.
Then they went to Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah.
So she said Margot Robbie is the one pitched it to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is true because there's an interview where she talks about the pitch that she had with Greta Gerwig because Margot Robbie's a producer on the movie, so I mean,
Well, it could have been that it could have been that because Amy Schumer left. Let me see let me see the production. Let me see the film, not Barbie, for because let me see. You see the so Amy, yeah, okay. Amy Schumer entered negotiations to start. Okay, wasn't her. She's that I know. I remember the idea for that Barbie movie. Oh God, it was horrible.
yeah,
And
just
yeah, it was Sony. You're right. Okay, yeah, Margot Robbie did do pitch it to Warner Brothers. You're right. Oh yeah. What happened to Patty Jenkins over 2020? Well, 2020, her Wonder Woman got canceled. I'm pretty sure her Star Wars movie got canceled. I have no idea what's going up with the Cleopatra movie. Yeah.
Is 77% of you basically
What?
are like, no, thank you. But only 23% of you want to see it. But that's really just not enough.
23% of people want to see the air.
Hey, Drago, New York City. Thank you for
See,
gifting
nobody
a membership.
cares.
That's right, Dory. Warner Brothers Discovery is pretty cheap already, so there's no way that they're going to do it anyway. Did somebody give some memberships that I missed? I don't think so. Okay.
Is she going to the next topic? Because I gotta end this soon. I gotta eat soon, man. I haven't had dinner yet.
All right. Any other questions or comments about this? Poke says, Grace, if you were running DC, what would you do?
Oh,
I
God,
never
no.
would have released it. I mean, again, if the Snyder Cut had done really strong numbers, then I would have been like, give me the Ayer cut right away. But because it didn't do strong numbers, I guess what I would have done is I wouldn't have led David Ayer on. I would have been like, don't embarrass yourself anymore, David. We're not going to do it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, David Ayer
know.
did do some good
I mean,
movies before Suicide Squad, so I don't think it was that. Like, here's the thing. Like, it wasn't a bad idea. I just think the fact that there was a lot of studio interference, and I think he also just doesn't jive well with the characters that he picked, right? Like, I don't think he was like a good choice to do Joker. Like, I think in general the idea of him doing Suicide Squad without Harley Quinn and the Joker, like to do that original like lineup of Suicide Squad members, like I actually think that would have been an interesting movie.
You gotta remember,
right?
Joker, Harley Quinn is kind of a young Suicide Squad member. She wasn't really.
Yeah, she's fairly new. She was in
Yeah.
the New 52. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
like
yeah,
yeah.
she's not a classic member of the
No.
Suicide Squad.
Exactly.
But I don't want to give David Ayer any work. So I don't really know how I could make it up to him.
What?
She wouldn't give him any
I don't
work.
know.
He made
Tom Cruise coconut cake?
Coconut cake. What the hell?
coconut cake. Why would anyone want
So
Tom
that's
Cruise
the
coconut
situation.
cake? What is that cake made out of? Tom Cruise coconut. That's
Scientology cookies.
oh my god.
No, that's not a good thing.
See, it's tough being a studio executive.
How do you
Not
know?
really. It's not.
How do you know?
Sometimes you just edible arrangement, Nicholas Louis. People like
Can you
those.
imagine
They're
Grace at a
fancy.
studio?
They're fancy.
Oh,
Like
that
the
studio
pineapple
would
shaped
go
as a flower.
bankrupt.
Does that cheer you up?
Because Grace Randolph is just not a good producer, and on top of that
She
too, she
produced
makes a
stuff?
lot of bad creative decisions.
Can
Well,
you
I mean,
imagine
no,
her
she's not like a good. Sorry, let me reword that. She's
YouTuber?
not a good producer like that she thinks she is, right? Because she's like, oh, you got to put on your producer cap, and no, she would be abysmal at producing movies. Like,
Can you imagine she ran a studio? She'd be like, go to the board, and she'd do like
yeah,
movie math with the board. It'd be, we need to make this money to make it. My office movie.
There is a reason why Grace Randolph decided to do beyond the trailers. Okay, like
She
she tried her hand at writing. She was not a successful writer. She tried to
yeah.
do Marvel and DC. It didn't work out.
Let me
Like-
tell you. You know this. Oh, I'm gonna tell you off air. I don't want to say it here because I'm gonna end it soon.
Okay.
I mean, I just,
Should we go to the next topic?
I mean, also,
That smile's creepy.
Yeah.
Looked
Okay.
like the Joker smile.
You know what? I'll say this. So many people that work on we can say this here. With Kristen Harloff, when they talk about DC and Marvel, no crap. Except for
Right.
what's his name? Corey? Because he knows he's knowledgeable. Corey Jandu, forget his name, he's knowledgeable.
Does Kristen Harloff even know anything about Marvel and DC?
They really like Snap, John Snap, like he's the guy. Sadly, right? Sadly,
Yeah.
passed away, but he's like he was the guy, and Corey is good, but like when I hear people talk about DC and Marvel, and I'm like, they have no clue anything. And you know what's
Grace
You know,
Randolph acts like she knows a lot about DC
Who?
and Marvel.
Who,
Grace
yeah.
Randolph.
you know Roxy from Kristen Harloff, Roxy. You know she
Yeah.
was on Screen Junkies, right?
Yes, I do know. Yes.
She does not like she did used to do like a DC show, right, back in the day, or a DC Marvel show, back in the day, or something like that on Screen Junkies.
Right.
She doesn't know anything about DC either.
Yeah. I mean, well, I can't blame some of these people. A lot of people were not that interested in comics, and the movies were popular. I get it, right? And the thing is, there's so much going on in comic books. Like, I don't expect everybody to know everything, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff, honestly, most people are better off not knowing. Anyway.
Yes. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here, guys. Because I gotta eat. George, go ahead there. Go ahead and plug. I'll send review blinded. I know Last of Us 2 is rope blinded according to your YouTube channel. Go ahead, George.
I mean, you can find me at the George. I think I'm going to do another Funko Pop collection video maybe tomorrow because I got a lot of Funkos since I did my last one back in either August or September. And there's really no movies or exciting movie news to talk about. So, yeah, I'll just do like another collection video in the meantime.
Yeah,
But,
it's
you
a
can find
dry
me
month.
you can find me at the George. Maybe later in the month, the beginning of February. We all know what's coming.
No, no.
Oh
Oh,
God,
no.
no! Don't scare us like that.
Oh, come on. You guys knew ahead before anyone else did.
That's true.
Mm-mm.
That's true.
No,
Blind-
if anything, this is probably just gonna hurt my head a little bit.
Go ahead, blinded.
Rip. Yeah, you can check me out on my YouTube channel, where I'm posting more gaming commentary. So go check that out. Starfield video dropped yesterday. And also yesterday we also dropped Controller Chronicle episode 6. I believe it's episode 6. The year in review for 2023. So go check that out. And also check me out on Twitter.
Nice. Go check them out, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment below, guys. Thank you.